Hello and welcome to News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Coming up in the next few minutes. Aveno residents call for demolition of partially collapsed building over safety concerns. Also on the program this morning, Deputy Finance Minister says President Mahama fully backs Dr. Kasiel Atuforsin amid economic stability. And much later on the program, government begins phase 2 of evacuation of Ghanaians from South Africa today. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much once again for joining us on the program today. Now, Ghana is preparing to evacuate another group of its nationals from South Africa. That's today, July 27, 2026, following renewed threats and attacks against foreign African nationals. About 1,000 Ghanaians have registered for the latest voluntary evacuation exercise, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But where did the crisis begin? What has Ghana done so far? And what is the latest security situation in South Africa? Watch this.
The evacuation forms part of a new operation to bring home approximately 1,000 Ghanaians who are registered with the Ghana High Commission in Pretoria. Priority is being given to women, children, elderly persons, students, and people with medical conditions. The latest exercise follows the first phase of evacuations between May and June, during which 979 Ghanaians were brought home in 3 batches after anti-foreigner protests and attacks intensified in parts of South Africa. On arrival, the returnees were taken through medical screening and offered psychosocial, transportation and reintegration support, with about 200 jobs reportedly secured for some of the returnees. The evacuations became necessary after videos emerged showing foreign nationals being intimidated, assaulted and forced by private citizens to produce immigration documents. The situation, however, became more serious after the death of Ghanaian national Bashiru Isaac during a period of unrest. Ghana demanded investigations, arrest and prosecution, and later arranged for his remains to be returned home for an independent post-mortem examination. South African police disputed Ghana's initial account of the incident, saying preliminary investigations suggested the killing may have been linked to extortion rather than the anti-migrant protest. The disagreement added to growing diplomatic tensions between the two countries. Ghana postponed a planned binational commission meeting with South Africa, arguing that the concerns of xenophobia first needed to be properly addressed. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa later sent a special envoy to meet President John Mahama, who said Ghana held no hostility towards South Africa, but insisted that attacks against African migrants could not be ignored.
It doesn't appear that the South African authorities are responding to the magnitude that one would expect them to do. The persons who are funding these xenophobic attacks are known, and they've been left free to continue to do what they want to do. And so, I mean, sometimes these things happen. We want to sweep them under the carpet. But when we do that, we rather do not cure what the problem is.
As a result, Ghana subsequently petitioned the African Union over the attacks, with the ECOWAS Council of Ministers backing the move and calling for the matter to receive continental attention.
The issue of xenophobic attacks on Africans, not only Ghanaians, African citizens from many countries in South Africa, is something that is really a big source of concern for the Commission. So the human cost of this situation is terrible. But we will take it over, Your Excellency. We will not keep silent.
Separately, 2 Ghanaian citizens have also petitioned the International Criminal Court to examine whether repeated attacks against African migrants in South Africa could amount to crimes against humanity.
I feel that the South African government led by Cyril Ramaphosa have failed. And they are quiet because he's thinking about winning the next elections, and he dare not speak about it because it's a very contentious issue in South Africa.
The ICC has only acknowledged receiving it. No formal investigation has yet been announced. At the same time, South Africa is intensifying official operations against undocumented migrants, human trafficking, and fraudulent immigration documents. For Monday's evacuation, attention will therefore be on how many of them can be supported and what happens to the thousands remaining in South Africa as security concerns remain in some communities.
Now, residents of the Aveno enclave who suffered the loss of loved ones and property in the June 7 building collapse are calling on the government to expedite the demolition of the partially collapsed structure. They say although officials have visited the site several times, they have yet to receive any clear communication on when the building will be brought down, leaving residents anxious about their safety. Nura Mohammed has the rest of the story.
On June 7, 2026, the Aveno building collapsed and claimed some lives, and the authorities promised to have it demolished. However, the building is still here, still standing, and this is raising questions about the safety of the people that live within this enclave. And so we're currently here at Aveno to find out from the residents what they think about the yet-to-be-collapsed building right behind me. Let's find out.
Nearly 2 months after the partial collapse of the Aveno building, the rubble remains untouched. And with it, the painful memories of June 7, 2026, when the disaster claimed 3 lives. For families who lost loved ones and livelihoods, each passing day is a reminder that the tragedy is far from over.
The government to come and demolish the building because our life is at risk. So many people have been coming here. Still, we are not seeing any difference. The last time, soldiers came here and come and tie rope here. They said they will come and demolish it soon. We expected them to come. They did not come.
Once we in Bakuni Buye, and Tinundak Bufa Baha, and building especially to Baha, and on Abakan say.
When the first part of the building collapsed, the authorities came here repeatedly. I am no expert, so I can't tell what they're doing or what decision they will take going forward.
Way forward, our more
I know a certain woman is like my customer. I buy pure water from her. She lost her life. Me too, I don't know, because since the police will come here, come and warn people to make no one enter that place. But up to now, I don't know why they not demolish the remaining one. Everybody is afraid. So those fitters and then people around there, it's a risky.
They have to go for permit.
Okay.
Before.
That's what he said. Who said that?
Those who came and demolished it. So I don't know whether they didn't get this in yet. Yeah. It's a death trap. So if they don't take it early to come and do it, I think it will cause another serious problem as it happens for the past.
In the immediate aftermath of the collapse, authorities identified 16 other unsafe buildings across Accra for demolition to prevent similar disasters.
Currently, NADMO has identified about 16 buildings within the Greater Accra region that has to come down. We are going to ensure that coming into the week, they will go and get all those buildings down.
One of those buildings, located in Osu, was demolished on June 8. But for residents of Aveno, where the collapse claimed lives, progress appears to have stalled. They say despite repeated visits by officials, there has been no clear communication on when demolition of the partially collapsed structure will begin, leaving them anxious about their safety and questioning whether earlier assurances will be fulfilled.
Residents around this enclave are waiting on the government, albeit impatiently, for the demolition of this building right behind me here at Aveno to prevent the further loss of their lives and property. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, Deputy Minister of Finance Thomas Nyako Ampim says that the economic recovery seen under Finance Minister Dr. Kasia Latofosin is due to the strong backing of President John Mahama. Without the president's backing, he says it would have been difficult for the Finance Minister to achieve any success. He spoke earlier on Key Point.
In the sinking fund account, we also have built some 15+ billion as at the time of the budget presentation. And our target is that by the time we present the main 2027 budget in November, we should be getting close to the 30 billion that will be due in February next year. So you need to balance it.
Right.
You need to manage the finances because the cost of default will be so huge for us that we cannot bear. So it is important. So people should see that it is not that Ato Folsom has the money and he says, I won't spend. Who will do that? We have a number of things we've promised Ghanaians that we will deliver. And we are delivering on them. That is why we are working together to ensure that we rake in more revenue. Today, because of the good management of the economy, we are being invited to re-enter the international bond market. But he says we are not in a hurry. He says let us work hard, manage the economy well, and achieve an investment grade. All credit rating agencies have upgraded us. They have recognized what we are doing. But we are not there yet.
Okay.
We have to get to a point where we can attract cheap capital. That is when we'll be comfortable to enter the market.
Some more here, and the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Ramsay, has defended the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, EOCO, investigation into Dennis Miracles Abuaje, insisting that the former government spokesperson was questioned over the alleged 55 million Ghana cedis under investigation. He further maintained that the anti-corruption agency is under no obligation to publicly respond to claims made by suspect. He spoke on hot issues.
Recently, what's his name? Miracles. He came out to say that nobody questioned him about 55 million, that he was questionable. And people believe that. People believe that. Because Miracle is saying it, everybody believes that that is the truth. And nobody is even interested in asking Yoko, how do you even conclude that is true? And you see, Yoko is not under any obligation to be responding to things like that. Law enforcement, we are not under any obligation. At the end of the day, we will bring you to court. We will charge you. You will have your day. So whether we ask you about 55 or we ask you about 5, it's not even our headache. Eventually, whatever we find on you, we'll bring it to court. At that point, we have had situations where people have said nothing. In the end, did they not say that they want plea bargaining? When they said no, we came back, they just kept us and they didn't ask us any question. But the moment they are charged, they said they want plea bargaining. So I want the public to understand that law enforcement, because of the nature of the work we do and because it's investigation, it's not everything that law enforcement can respond to. But that doesn't also mean that lack of responding to some of these things means that the person who is saying it is right or is correct. That's all I want the public to just be very aware of that.
Is Dennis wrong in that when he says
of course, he's completely wrong. I mean, you cannot say that he was not questioned about 55. Completely wrong.
Was he questioned on the 55 million?
Yes.
I see. So he's very much aware of why he was kept in there.
Let's not even go further. He's very much aware.
I see. But what did you think about how his bill issue went? You know, he was in there for a while. Then there were demonstrations all day.
No, demonstrations are rights.
Yoko. Then in the last minute, in fact, they had predicted that Yoko would only grant the bill after, you know, the officers who were supposed to do the work had closed.
I'm not aware of that. Those things, you see, I'm not aware of that.
In other news, the president of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Prosper Techi, has warned teachers to stay away from any sexual relationship with their pupils, describing the conduct as a serious breach of professional ethics. His comments come as the Ghana Education Service investigates fresh cases of alleged teacher-pupil sexual misconduct, with several teachers already dismissed after being found guilty.
The growing number of cases involving male teachers accused of engaging in sexual relationships with their pupils has become a major concern for Ghana's education sector. While the Ghana Education Service is currently investigating several fresh allegations, a number of teachers have already been dismissed after disciplinary proceedings found them guilty of sexual misconduct involving learners. The incidents have renewed concerns about the safety of children in schools and the ethical standards expected of teachers entrusted with their care. Speaking on the issue, President of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Prosper Techi, described the conduct as unacceptable.
This issue about sexual harassment in our schools has come up, and as a union, we wish to state that we condemn such acts. We have a contract with the Ghana Education Service, the employer, and for that matter, in whatever environment we find ourselves, you are supposed to deliver your services ethically. In some situations, the case involved may be below the age of 16. And when it happened that way, it goes beyond even the ethical provisions, what has been provided ethically by the Ghana Education Service. And the laws of Ghana would come in.
Prosper Techi, however, stressed that teachers facing allegations must be afforded due process, insisting that every accused person deserves a fair hearing. Turning to teacher welfare, the NAT president also renewed calls for the implementation of the long-delayed 20% rural incentive for teachers serving in deprived communities. According to him, the incentive has remained in the collective bargaining agreement for years without implementation, despite the difficult conditions under which many rural teachers work. He argued that improving conditions of service is critical to motivating teachers and attracting qualified professionals to underserved areas.
We are hoping that once they open that door for the money to be paid, it will motivate a lot more teachers to move to the deprived communities to help serve Mother Ghana. We are on the table negotiating for our collective agreement, which has expired, and we are hoping that at the end of the day, some of these challenges, issues will be addressed for our teachers to benefit. It's always in our collective agreement.
Yes, but never.
There is their implementation. Yes. And that is why I don't indicated time and again that it's not just about negotiating for the collective agreement, the document. If it cannot be implemented, then it shouldn't be there. Because at the end of the day, teachers will be mounting pressure on leadership.
Currently, several basic schools in rural Ghana lack teachers. While some schools have only one teacher handling 8 classes, other rural schools risk collapsing. The renewed calls for improved welfare underscore the need to strengthen teacher support systems within Ghana's teaching profession. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Eastern Region.
Now, with the government rollout of the free primary healthcare program, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Akoria, says demand for laboratory services would increase significantly, requiring not only more diagnostic equipment, but also competent professionals, ethical leadership, and continuous professional development. He made these remarks at the 5th Annual General Meeting of the Society of Medical Laboratory Managers Ghana, held in Accra earlier.
The 2-day meeting was held on the theme Advancing Quality Medical Laboratory Services Through Sustainable Financing and Human Resource Management. It served as a platform for members to collectively deliberate on the unique challenges confronting the profession and explore opportunities for the growth and development of society. The meeting recognized rising cost of laboratory reagents, equipment maintenance, quality assurance, and accreditation, which continue to strain health facilities, many of which still rely on out-of-pocket payments and irregular donor funding. Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Akoria, underscored the indispensable role of medical laboratory services in healthcare delivery, stressing that there could be no modern healthcare without quality laboratory services.
All our national public health programs, whether it's HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, cervical cancer, microbial resistance, or pandemic preparedness, depend on timely, accurate, and reliable laboratory results. The laboratory service is therefore not merely a support service. It is one of the pillars upon which modern medicine practice stands.
Among the demands made at the meeting were salary placement and sustained investment in laboratory equipment. Board Chairman of the Society of Medical Laboratory Managers Ghana, Dr. David Sebe Saki,
urged the government to expedite the placement of medical laboratory specialists in their rightful positions on the public sector salary scale, describing it as a critical step toward recognizing their expertise and strengthening the country's healthcare.
Unfortunately, our health system continues to face challenges such as workforce shortages, unequal distribution of personnel, inadequate training opportunities, and staff burnout. These challenges can undermine service quality and limit the capacity of laboratories to meet growing healthcare demands.
And that's all for News Morning here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on New Day.
YouTube as well. But thank you for joining us. Great morning as always. Last week was quite eventful, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
We had the verdict pass on Chairman Wuntumi.
Yes.
Yeah. Bernard Entriboy Siakon.
Yes.
All right, of Akunta Mining. And then subsequently we had the budget half-year reading as well.
Yes.
And since then we strolled through Saturday.
Yes.
Throughout the
all
weekend.
the analysis.
And it looks like we still have to touch on Wuntumi this morning. And then also wrap up on the budget discussions this morning as well. But quite interesting, a number of events over the period. So we'll see how it goes. Nothing ever stops, right?
Nothing.
Nothing ever stops.
Yes.
Good morning. You're looking great.
Morning.
I love your red.
Thank you. Pamoni.
Pamoni, yeah.
GH, yes.
Where are they located? East Legon,
East
I know
Legon,
one.
Yes.
That'll be around Adringano.
No. She's on the Baoleshi Road.
Oh, okay.
So it's
okay.
Legon.
La Baoleshi.
Yes, La Baoleshi. And then she also has an office in Osu as well.
Fantastic.
So, yes. Pamoni clothing. Thank you very much.
How was your weekend?
It was good. I mean, after a very busy week, Monday, Tuesday, because you remember that after the breaking news on Monday, I also had agenda as well on Tuesday. Then we had to prepare for the budget, media budget review Thursday, and then, the analysis. So we tried to kind of tone down a little bit, but there was still a lot to do because weekends are when you have time for loved ones, family, and also follow up on other things. Sometimes work that you couldn't really finish up.
You're looking exquisite this morning.
Thank you very much.
I treated some malaria over the period, but
sorry. You allowed mosquitoes to do that.
Yeah, but Charlie, you know how to do it. Let me say it's a good morning to you. Abigail Darko is with the Ghana National Association of Teachers with the district, also contested for the position of nationally as well. We also have regular watchers, and we know also with the PR office, that is ADO Alex Kenate of the Ghana National Fire Service, a regular watcher. And for all of you, Aaron Brasso is with the Tafo Government Hospital as well in the Eastern region. Good morning to you. All of you tend to watch us there. We're grateful. Claudia Scotty as well is also there. Pai Fianco, engineers and planners, good morning to you. And then Alhaji Nuruddin, Alhaji Jibril of National Security. We also have Edmond Combat, the managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery. A great friend of mine, though, is celebrating the birthday. The director for the National Health Insurance Authority for the Upper East Region, that's Dr. Salifu Combat. Dr. Salifu Combat, you're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you as well. Wishing you all the best for the day. Great man. And this one is coming from myself, Roland, Flora, who is your wife, and Rashid, your son, and the rest of the kids and the family as well. We wish you all the best for the day. And we have some insight into many other related things. A lot has been happening.
Yes. And I'm sure you saw the story, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about the government embarking on some investments within the power sector in the Ashanti region. You know that Ashanti region has had issues with power supply.
They still do, actually.
Yes.
It's going to persist. It's going to reduce, according to what the briefings have been from the Minister of Energy, Dr. Jinapo as well.
Yes.
It's going to ease towards the close of the year, but so far they are suffering.
Yes, but in the next 4 months, they are going to have to be bracing themselves for intermittent power supply because of the upgrade, as it were. And I was actually amazed that until the upgrade, apparently the system had been running for about 30 years. I'm sure William Evansinkum will be joining us very later in the course of the conversation to give us the specific years. And so because of that upgrade, they should be expecting that within the next 4 months, there will be some intermittent power supply. We don't know yet how intensive that would be. Hopefully, again, when William Evansinkum joins us, you'll be able to tell us how intensive that would be. But like you rightly said, if they finish, so apparently Ibrahim Abubakar would actually be joining us for that. But like you rightly said, in the latter part of the year, they should be expecting this to ease out, having restored power to, because now the current population cannot, the system they have cannot sustain the current population they have. So Ibrahim Abubakar, who is also our colleague in the Ashanti region, should be joining us to bring us a bit more update But also in Obuasi, as you know, there's a community. Ever since I heard the name, I've been trying to pronounce it. I hope that I get it correctly. Apiti Koko. I hope William Evans Inkum will be joining us.
That's your town?
No, that's in the Ashanti region.
Oh, okay.
I come from the Eastern
That's what
region.
we have the content on.
Yes, and Dochiwa.
I heard William Evans Inkum mention that.
Yes,
well, yeah.
Benstre communities and the Lac Hospital. You know that we've been talking about health facilities ever since we had the Afari Military Hospital story breakout, the minority going there and all of that. We've been looking at some of the health facilities that have not been completed and what that means for healthcare delivery for people within those enclaves and beyond. And so he'll be bringing us the story of how long this hospital, these communities have been without hospital and the impact it is having on healthcare delivery. So that beat is being followed by William Evans Inkum. But guess what? We are back with cash out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we are giving you a lot of money. Yes, we're going to be giving you 1,000 Ghana cedis for 3 people. And so if you're joining us, it's *439#. And as always, you pick your favorite platform, which is number 2, TV3, and play. We're giving 1,000 to 3 of you. It's the beginning of the week. If you spent a lot of money over the weekend, it's time to cash out and get some money back to replenish what you used. So don't forget to dial *439#. You follow the prompt, you pick your favorite platform, number 2, which is right here on TV3. And our first draw will be immediately after Roland. You're done with the big issue, and we'll get to know who is winning the first. So don't forget to play. Start early, just so your number, Roland will tell you, will display in the dashboard. Yes, so keep playing and get some cash for yourself beginning of the week.
Well, certainly. So for big issues, we're going to have our discussant in the studio. We're going to look at, well, now what are the appeal options for the case itself? We know that it's going to go for appeal.
Yes.
So the Court of Appeal is going to look at that as well.
Yes.
But just perusing the judgment in itself, what will be the appeal options that the Court of Appeal we'll be looking at? And again, it's not as if the case is now just going to be an appeal. So it's not as if that they're going to have anybody being cross-examined, etc. All those have been done already.
Yeah.
Is there new evidence going to be admitted? No, because if it has to be admitted, it has to be on some exceptional grounds. So those also will have to be stated as well. So we'll take a look at that quickly.
Yes.
Because post the budget as well, there have been a number of sectors we want to take a look at. We're just looking at the energy sector.
Yes.
And then also the road sector. How do we make sure that we're able to get the right revenues or funding for some of those key projects? If it's big push or it's for the energy sector as well, to make sure that we're able to construct or again meet out those allocations or those policy initiatives in the budget, as also enumerated in the half-year period as well by the finance minister.
Yes.
So we'll take a look at all that this morning.
Yes, we'll look at that as well. And let me say that my colleague Vela Munde is here with us as well. So when we go to the This Morning segment, we'll be getting a lot more.
Fantastic.
Yes. But for the This Morning segment, of course, I did tell you of the communities that are lacking a hospital in Obuasi in the Ashanti region. My colleague William Evans Inkum will be joining us to bring us all the details we need to know. Welcome to the This Morning segment.
Residents of Apetikoko and Dochiwa Bensere. In a case of medical emergency, a patient will have to travel several miles to either Triapiase or Obuasi for healthcare. According to a resident, there has been instances patients in critical condition do not make it to their final destination.
Somebody was shot recently. He was in a critical condition and needed emergency care. But while being transported to Obasi, he died on the way.
Two healthcare facilities have been commissioned by AngloGold to meet basic healthcare needs as residents look forward to a major hospital project from the government.
We identified 2 places that need access to quality health service. One of them is Dochua Binsre community and Apitikoko community. This is key for them. They have to be walking about 16 kilometers to the nearest health facility.
All right, welcome back, and we're crossing over to William Evans Inkum, head of Northern Bureau for Media General, and he'll give us more insight on this matter. Hello, William.
Hello, Bella.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Well, once you are fine, I'm also doing well.
Well, we're fine, but we can't say same for the people who live in Apitikoko and Dochua Bensere because they have to walk, 6 kilometers to access healthcare. That's worrying.
Well, very worrying. 16 kilometers. So, especially for those in Apitikoko connecting Obuasi. And if you are to juxtapose that to what the WHO says, that is people living within 5 kilometer radius of a primary health facility that is accessing, then you know that indeed it goes beyond a breach as far as habitation and then access to health facility is concerned. But that is the reality. I mean, for so many years, they've not had this. And the kind of story they shared with me and my team, especially having to ferry people who are indisposed and those especially in critical condition, having to ferry them from Apitikoko to Obuasi to access sometimes basic health care needs, it's horrid. I mean, that's the best word you can use to describe it because, I mean, not too long ago, we heard that lady who was very visible, I mean, preparing in her narration, which has to do with one guy who was shot. And it's also a mining community. So talking about mining community, we also have a number of people also engaged in illegal mining. And you know sometimes how violent they can be because of the kind of operation that they engage in. One person was shot and they had to ferry that particular person covering a distance of 16 kilometers, a critical condition. I mean, he's not Jesus Christ to survive, for want of a better word. Yes, he could not reach his destination, died on the way. And these are one of the horrors you were exposed to anytime you engage the people there. So Apitikoko is on the Obuasi-Dimpo stretch.
Okay.
Now, another area that is also having similar difficulty in the area of accessing health is Dochua and Bensere. Bensere is almost like a joining community, but they are less than 5 kilometers apart. So having established a health facility, yes, by the mining gen, I think it does them a lot of good. Then you say they fall within the WHO standard, talking about people living within 5 kilometer radius of a primary health care. So yeah, that is good. But the fact of the matter is that for so many years, these 3 communities have lived without any health facility, not to even talk about HS compound.
I see. Now, when you say 6 kilometers, for people who may not be necessarily be able to calculate, if you're going by car, how many hours would it take you, for example, from Apitikoko to Obuasi to access healthcare?
So if you are going by a car, depending on which car you are using, if you are using a Roland's car or your car or British car, then maybe you are looking at 30 to 35 kilometers. But if you're using the, forgive me.
You mean 30 minutes?
30 minutes, sorry, yes.
30 minutes to an hour, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're using those not too good a car, for want of a better word, like we call it local parlance, the kinetic auto, then you are looking at a journey. So that is the situation there.
And generally, I can imagine the kind of vehicles that are also used in that community. Absolutely. Because it's not exactly a developed community as well. But do they?
Well, absolutely. The rules linking the communities, the communities are very horrible. So you can imagine.
Do they at least have a CHIPS compound so they can administer primary health care before transferring them to the major hospitals in Obuasi?
Well, as far as I know, no.
They don't have
that. They don't have that. So that's why I said even for basic health needs, they will have to travel distance to Obuasi, either to the AGA hospital or the government hospital in Obuasi to access that.
What are the authorities saying about this?
For many years, questions have been asked, and as usual, exigency from the various sectors of our economy waits. It will be done. But nothing has been happening as far as the perspectives of the resident living there are concerned. So even though you call it a respite, what the AGA has provided them, but they are looking forward to a bigger hospital that will be able to address all their major health needs. Because now what they have can only take care of, maybe the most important thing here is being able to deal with maternal health. Because I also remember a story shared with me about a pregnant woman who had to be ferried from Apitikoko to Obuasi, and she was just at her, the final trimester, but she has to be ferried to Obuasi to deliver. And these are some of the horrible stories you ever hear. Well, she was able to make it, but not without complications at the labor ward. So now that they have this health facility, at least that particular problem will be addressed. But then there are also other critical medical emergencies that will also need attention. Those medical emergencies will have to be referred to the Obuasi Government Hospital or the AGA Hospital. The reason why they're asking for a hospital in these communities so that they also be taking care of critical emergency medical cases.
For example, in Apitikoko, like you mentioned, there's a health center that was commissioned just in July, which is what you were referring to. How many people live in Apitikoko roughly? And what's the bed capacity for this new health center that's been commissioned?
Well, so for the Apitikoko, we are looking at approximately 7,000 people. That is what I've been told. For bed capacity, I'm sure it goes beyond a dozen, and that is good enough. Looking at the status of the health facility, is the health center. So we're looking at a dozen, but I'm pretty sure it goes beyond 20 bed. It's over 20 bed capacity.
It's still woefully
inadequate. That is pretty good for them. Yes, woefully, absolutely woefully inadequate. And also, let me also say this: even in Obuasi itself, if we are talking about doctor to patient ratio, we are looking at 1 to 10,000. Yes, 1 to 10,000.
Wait, hold on.
That's huge.
Hold on. You're saying that the Obuasi hospital? Yes. Is that what it's called?
Obuasi Municipal.
Municipal.
So we are looking at 1 to 10,000.
Wow. And you know that hospital there also takes care of other communities.
Absolutely.
How many communities in total, if you may give us this?
Well, if you are talking about Obuasi, it will be very difficult for me to state, but I can say over 30 communities, yes, major communities. Then we also have smaller communities. And because predominantly they are into mining, the communities keep on expanding. That is what I can share with you.
Wow. Beatrice. Yeah, that's quite serious. But if you can tell us why we have these huge number differences. 1 to 10,000, that's a huge ratio. Is it that people are not accepting posting to Obuasi? What really is the problem?
Well, for this one, I think the health ministry will be in a better position, or Ghana Health Service will be in a better position to let us know. But looking at the population of Obuasi and the fact that it is also one of the growing populations. Look, if you are talking about the Ashanti region, aside Kumasi, Obuasi is the most populated. And don't forget that, not to go to the bad days or do a bad flashback, but remember in the days of COVID-19, as far as Ashanti region is concerned, Obuasi was the first place to record COVID-19 before the spread.
Yeah.
Obuasi is very, yes, you say in terms of geography, it's a very small community on the map, but very big in size in terms of population, very dense. And because of the mining activities, we have a number of people engaged in small-scale mining, and then also the mining gen, that is Anglo, a lot of oil deposits, in the land. So there's a lot of interest as far as Obuasi is concerned. We see a lot of people moving in there to settle there. Even people from central region also come to Obuasi to settle there. So the numbers there, very, very huge. So to ask me, well, I believe that there should be maybe a bigger hospital. Yes, you talk about Fomena. I think Fomena is Agenda 111 or something. No, Adansia is quite rather Agenda 111, which recently reported that some illegal miners have taken part of the hospital project. Even last week, we went there. As I speak to you now, we are even going to Obuasi to clamp down on illegal miners, as I speak to you now. So the only hospital, apart from the two, that is the AGA and then that of the government hospital, the next bigger hospital is the one cited at Fomena, which is also very close to Obuasi. So looking at what is happening, I believe that maybe another hospital in Obuasi proper, maybe something like, for instance, if the Agenda 111 that Adansia's quite completed, I think it will do them a lot of good, aside the one they have at Fomena. Because Obuasi itself, I'm not pretty sure they'll be able to even get a land to build a bigger hospital. But any other bigger hospital in the peripheral areas, Fomena has one, Adansia's, if it is completed, I think it will also do them a lot of good.
Yeah, so you're talking about a bigger hospital, but I'm looking at the current hospital now, where you have doctor to patient ratio of 1 to 10,000, which I think is still huge. It's actually bigger than the average, the national average, which is like 1 to 63,000. Exactly. So I'm wondering whether you have information on how this has affected quality healthcare delivery within that enclave.
Well, so Beatrice, you don't need to be an expert to really know that the figures I got from one of the officers there, that's 1 to 10,000. Certainly it will affect quality health delivery, because you're looking at the enormity of numbers on one particular person, health expert, who needs to attend to these cases. And imagine ordinarily, or let's do, basic analogy, that even if a single day, 5 critically emergency cases are coming to you as a doctor or a medical practitioner to attend to them, I don't know, maybe you need a magic wand to be able to maneuver and save these lives. And that is how bad the situation is.
Wow. Very disturbing. It's not surprising that doctors would complain about, too much pressure at work, because one doctor has to take care of about 10,000 roughly.
Meanwhile, the national average is between 6,300 to 8,000. And I'm quite intrigued because Obuasi, looking at the intensity of mining, you have a lot of mining-related sicknesses as well. So imagine the numbers of people who are going to these health facilities, and yet it is one doctor who has to take care of about 10,000.
I've never understood why the mining communities mostly are the most underdeveloped. in this country.
Because they are taking the money from the area.
Exactly. That is where we get a lot of the money from. And so why is it that we have those? And well, not recently, but a couple of years ago, I visited Takwa.
Yes.
And I was so disappointed by the quality of roads that I had to use to get into Takwa. And then I got into Takwa and I realized it was more dusty than any other place I had ever visited. And I was in shock. I do understand that, yes, the mining activities will lead to the levels of dust that I encountered, but I expected better development in those areas. Better schools, better hospitals, better roads. I'm told that in recent times it's actually much better than what I experienced, but even that is still not up to standard.
And that's why you have
what kind of policies are in place.
A lot of communities asking that there should be some sort of system where, aside from the royalties and the taxes that they pay, there should be a level of commitment where the areas where the mining is taking place would see some level of development. I mean, it's just unacceptable that you're taking all these and developing elsewhere, and the very community where you're taking the resources from is so impoverished. And so that's why you have a lot of them, you know, going into the concessions of these companies that they may not necessarily have the license to do, and then it leads to clashes. We've seen that over and again, and the rippling effects that this has. There's really a real need to look at our mining laws again. I know we have so many of them, and really see how we implement them to the benefit of the communities.
Exactly. I mean, we don't even have to travel too far. Comparatively, if you
South
look
Africa.
at South Africa and the mining communities, you realize that they're more developed. They ensure that they have better social amenities in those communities because they're taking a lot from them. And so what are they giving them in return? And that's the challenge. I really don't know. But like you said, we hope that they really look at the laws and do something about it as well. But the issue about doctors also not accepting postings into these communities, I can understand them. If I've spent all these years going to school, 7, 10 years, to go study medicine, and I'm posted to somewhere that barely has social amenities. I literally have to go and fight with snakes to live in my community and take care of people.
And the kind of education that their children would have if they have, the environment.
Which is why this morning, I think that we should all say congratulations to one Dr. Edu Apia, who we're told accepted a posting to Paga in the Northeast region. We're told that, of course, after she agreed to serve as the only doctor, because all the doctors who had been posted there, a number of the doctors who had been posted there had rejected the offer. So she accepted. The youth in the community decided to just give back to her for accepting to come and take care of them. So they donated 20,000 cedis to her. Now, what she did, when she received the money, she rather used it to buy hospital equipment to give back to the hospital.
Wow.
Instead of using it for her personal needs as well. So we're saying good morning to her, and also to the Paga youth movements. They are the ones who rewarded her with 20,000 Ghana cedis. But Dr. Ama Enchiwa Edu Apia, who chose to serve at the Paga hospital, said she was not going to use it. In fact, it's in the Upper East region, not the Northeast. Upper East region, she decided to buy hospital equipment to give back.
And
to the community.
And that's amazing.
How
I
many
think
doctors will do this?
I've said it here before that I remember, which year was it? 2013, when I was doing a documentary on hospitals, and I went to the Upper West region. There was only one doctor for the entire region in the capital of Wa, and you can imagine the stress that this whole thing comes with. So congratulations once again to this
Let me tell you
woman
what
that
she bought.
You
So
talk
she bought 3 nebulizers,
Yes.
2 blood pressure monitoring machines, 1 fetal Doppler machine, 1 vein finder, 1 hemoglobin analyzer, 5 drip stands, 5 ward screens, 1 baby weighing scale, perfuser lines, 2 Veronica buckets, 2 hand washing basins, 6 rolls of cotton wool, and 4 packs of bottled water.
And that should tell you of the heart of this person. She just is not in for the job.
Beyond
She's in
beyond that,
to serve.
What people were saying on social media, if 20,000 can buy these items for a hospital, then you can imagine all those monies that we're losing to corruption, we're losing to galamsey, going into people's personal pockets and accounts. Imagine if we invested that money into getting equipment for some of these hospitals.
I mean, I've heard people say that the problems we have in this country, we have the solution to them.
Yes.
We have the solution to them if you're able to cut down on all of these. Because if you look at annual reports even on corruption, the $3 billion that we went for from the IMF, corruption could have taken care of it and there would have been change, as it were, or there would have been leftovers to take care of our domestic needs. And so, I mean, just on point for us to deal with some of the loopholes that take away monies from us. But a number of you have already sent in your messages and we want to read some of them back to you right here. And this is coming from, okay, no name, but he says, first, why were such a large number of graduate teachers from the colleges of education who applied for the current GES recruitments unsuccessful? Many applicants would like to understand the criteria used in the selection process. And then he says, second, why are applicants, many of whom are currently unemployed, required to pay 25.37 Ghana cedis for a voucher simply to check the application status, especially when the voucher can only be used once? This has placed an additional financial burden on many graduates who are already struggling. This is coming from Sir Jake from Equiapim Mountains in the Eastern region. He says, good morning, Bella and Roland. He says, this is Jake, please, I want to know from Ghanaians if it's hypocrites, or, as in you mean hypocrisy, or it's politics which is letting us behave this way. When an ordinary Ghanaian goes against the law and is prosecuted and convicted, people will say because the person is an ordinary person, that's why he or she has been treated that way. But the politicians are left out to do the normal thing. And this is coming from, okay, just say good morning, TV3 in Sisala West. We have one doctor with a population of about 63,000. Wow. And this is coming from Osei, okay, Osei Bodi. He says, good morning. Healthcare delivery in my area is Nyamenkwa. But the district doesn't have a hospital. Wow. Only clinics and CHIPS compounds. We don't have a single medical doctor in the Bodi district. Please, when you send us the community, tell us the region that you find your community in. But I think that earlier we spoke with my colleague William Evansinku. We want to say a big thank you for bringing us the details you brought us earlier. Hopefully we'll get back to you for you to bring us a lot more regarding what's been done with the hospital in that, or in the communities that we spoke about earlier. This is coming from Aziz Donla, or before Aziz Donla, it says, I am Godwin Tete. It says, from Dodowa, I believe that Parliament should assign the minority to regularly inspect the quality of healthcare delivery nationwide. Why just the minority? We have a health committee in Parliament. Perhaps it should be the responsibility, if you're looking for a committee that should be checking up regularly on some of these facilities. And the committee has both minority and majority on it, just so they're able to take bipartisan decisions. There's Aziz Dolawa says, I'm totally shocked and hearing the MPP and their communicators talking about increment in commodity prices. Okay. This is, we in Domikwabenya too wish to have the government community health care. It will help us, a health system, it will help us a lot. I mean, between Blekusu and Kwabenya, Auntie Maggie from Ashongman Estate. And so many of you still sending in your messages. This is coming from Mr. Simon Yen. Says, good morning, Beatrice, Belen, Roland. You people are doing great work just to keep Ghanaians abreast with all issues and happenings in the country. I just want to pat you on the back and encourage TV3 to keep it up. Simon Yen from WA. There's also another message coming in. Healthcare delivery in Busie in the Upper West region is challenged by the presence of only one health center, which serves the entire community and the surrounding settlements. This places considerable pressure on the limited healthcare staff and available resources, often resulting in increased patient load and longer waiting times. And that's one of the dangerous parts of not having adequate, healthcare officials, because when your case is emergency, by the time they attend to you, whatever it is that has to happen to you would have already happened to you.
Which is why the gentleman we're told was bitten by the snake died even before, was shot actually.
Yes.
In the Akitipopo.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Community were told died even before they could get to the hospital.
Yes.
Because they couldn't access healthcare on time.
Yes.
Very disturbing.
Yes. And Abugbila Godwin Kamiel, it says the Binduri boy writes, healthcare service is still a challenge within hard to reach communities. Access to good roads must be addressed to bridge the gap. SDG Goal 3 cannot be achieved with health disparities. I'm a health entrepreneur and I understand what goes on in there. And I mean, you have, when you look at the country's national mortality rates or numbers, you realize that a lot of them come from rural areas, because aside from the inadequate health personnel and health facilities, you also have bad roads.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes women in labor are put on tricycles and all sort of, systems that are not, you won't qualify them as proper transport system to move them from their homes to various health facilities. And by the time they get there, either some die on the way or they get there and they don't survive. And so really important message that you are sending us. But
I have a few here from Prudential Livingston.
Sure.
Also says it's quite a pity that areas that are greatly contributing to the development and revenues for this country are so impoverished, lacking in everything, while the revenues made from their soil are used to develop other places, the evil on our people. And Rini Lopez seems to be also concerned about mental health.
Yes.
Rini says that mental health is getting worse in the country. I agree. We need to talk about it a lot more. They have chiefs and political leaders there, and they can't plan anything better to develop the community. They only think about themselves. That's Eric Baden. Eric, the chiefs are not the ones who put up the hospitals. That is why we have the assemblies, we have, the ministries, etc., to ensure that there's enough social amenities going into some of these communities as well.
A lot of the time,
just push for these things to be done. But
what they can do is to make the lands available for the government to develop the community or build these structures. But I think you have more, right?
Yes. Inquire Maestro says that it's because we don't have good leaders. That's why we're seeing what we are seeing. A few more. Okay. So talk about what the minority leader said in Parliament. That's Inquire Maestro. I'm not sure what you're referencing. I don't think I've come across what he may have said with regards to this topic. I believe that's what you are referencing. But over the weekend, and there was a message you read at the beginning about, the College of Education.
Yes.
Over the weekend, we also got a distress message from one of the College of Education graduates. And so I'll just read that quickly. Says, maybe I cannot mention the name yet until I get her approval, but says, I completed College of Education in 2023. On 24th of July, appointment letters were released. Unfortunately, about 98% of us from the colleges of education were marked unsuccessful. We completed 4 years of training, graduated with a second-class upper, paid for and passed the teacher licensure exam, and completed 1 year of mandatory national service. Despite this, we've stayed home for about 3 years waiting for postings, only to be told it was unsuccessful. However, I've seen on social media that some people have been successful or were successful. I have a few questions. What criteria was used in selecting successful applicants? Why was a fee of 25.37 Ghana cedis collected from us if we were not going to qualify? Why was the message not sent only to the successful applicants? We've also heard claims that slots are being sold for 20,000 Ghana cedis, allegedly, before one can be posted. This is very disheartening. Former President, Professor John Evans Atamils valued teacher training and would not have allowed this. I have been deeply distressed about this. If you have Bella, you have the platform. I'm kindly asking for you to help bring this to public attention. And so she's one of the College of Education graduates. This is her concern. In fact, there's a whole team that's ready to speak on this matter. And I'm sure that during the week, we'll address this properly and give them the chance to speak. But I only brought this in because of that first message that you read coming from one of them as well.
Yes, and of course, and a lot more of you still sending in your messages. This is, okay, I've read Mr. Simon Yen already. Good morning, Bella. My name is Great Omama from Kumasi. If you look into Ghana, the national average doctor to patient ratio is approximately 1 doctor. Yes, so that's what I mentioned earlier, the 6,300 to about 8,000. And good morning. TV3 says healthcare delivery in Avedakpa, Akachi North District is deplorable. They don't care about patients. Health workers still attending to patients as a favor. Only God can save us. And he says, I'm Bishop 1. There's also a message coming in from Dennis Akwete. Says, Beatrice, if you hear things like this about the state of our healthcare, and yet when few politicians who misconstrued politics as kingship and misapplied our resources to benefit themselves and are being called upon to account, you will see the very people who put in these very miserable conditions jumping to the defense of the very people who put them in the said conditions. There's also Abbas from Offenso. He says, President Mahama has so far done well when it comes to improving the living conditions of the ordinary Ghanaian. Prices of food is so low. This is coming from landlord Bolga D line. He says, please, Beatrice, it seems you people are missing 2 different regions, Upper West. No, so we corrected that earlier. Yes. There's Prince Henry Koforidia says, we wasted over $50 million on needless National Cathedral when we could have used that money to finish many Agenda 111 hospitals. Says, God bless our homeland, Ghana. This is coming from MK Erickson Teshiman. Says, okay, you look absolutely prim. Thank you very much. And he says, as for healthcare situation in this country, it's a huge challenge. And that's why we all must erect to champion the free primary health care policy launched by His Excellency John Mahama-led NDC government is the only way to help cover this. That's coming from Sherry, MK Erickson. And yes, Sherry Giovanni just says, good morning. Didn't really give us any further message. So thank you for your messages.
I have one on YouTube, and good morning to those of you who are watching us on YouTube. Richmond Nunu says that the Agenda 111 hospital at Asukwa will not help Obuasi. Mind you, we have Obuasi East and Obuasi West. Obuasi East is next to Adansi Asukwa, but it is far. It's over 10 kilometers. Well, we'll get some more information, and I wish William Evansinkum was here to give us more details on this. But we hope that as soon as possible, we can also complete a number of these Agenda 111 hospitals so that we can address the issues of healthcare and the challenges thereof in this country. But I believe that's about it. Good morning to you, Patrick Kugbesika. Roland is hosting the big issues this morning, so please make sure that you're tuned in as well. To Lydia Agbeti, good morning as well.
Let me just read this last one. Okay. Yes, coming from Prince Nanaya York says, good morning, Beatrice and Bella. Ghana's rural healthcare system is a serious challenge. Anyone who travels around the country can see that the issue goes far beyond simply equipping hospitals or providing staff. The communities themselves remain underdeveloped. Politicians appear during election campaigns, yet one has to ask what the MPs are actually doing to help their people get quality health care. If national resources are shared fairly, why do these areas continue to lag behind? We need to start scrutinizing how funds are allocated and spent on national development. A strong accountability system is essential so citizens can hold people in check given the widespread leakages and corruption. Kind of emphasizing what we talked about earlier about corruption and the need for us to deal with it.
Ibrahim Ahmed says teachers must respect themselves. Okay, I don't know what you mean by that, but Asuma says Yoko should make sure anytime they're dealing, okay, never
So
mind.
his has to do with the GES latest research indicating there are a lot of sexual relations between teachers and pupils.
Oh, that's what he was referencing.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Obuasi has been mining gold for decades and cannot boast of any proper healthcare delivery. That's very pathetic. How? That's Eric Baden. And the AAG and his deputy form a strong team. Kudos to them. That's Judy Mensah. Well, Quindel Delzy says, I should tell you that you are looking gorgeous this morning.
Oh, thank you,
Quindel, I'll pass
Quindel.
on your message to Beatrice as well. And good morning to our viewer from Central Region, Suleiman Nankemi. I hope I got it right. Anyway, this morning we're asking you to perk up your day the Milky Way with the rich, smooth taste of Perk Milk Shortcake. It is pure delight. And remember that 3 people would be walking away this morning with 1,000 Ghana cedis each once you play cash out. You know the drill. Just dial *439#, follow the prompts, and pick your favorite platform, which is TV3. So that's the platform we're showing you. We're showing you all the platforms, but choose TV3, which is platform number 2. So make sure that you're choosing platform number 2 if you want to win that 1,000 Ghana cedis. 3 of you will walk away with 1,000 Ghana cedis each. It could be you. *439#, follow the prompts. And don't just dial once, go through the prompts and choose TV3.
Again, we're back here. We encourage you, as always, that when you're watching us, especially through our social media platforms, TV3 Ghana, whether it's Facebook or the other ones, TikTok, etc., please make sure that you're in a position to always contribute, but also share. Remember, we have cash out. It goes always with a short code *439#. Choose option 2, which is TV3. Increase the number of tickets you have. Become one of those lucky winners. And as always, you will have your numbers replicating on the dashboard. That's the electronic dashboard. For those of you, you know that for all those who tend to look at stocks and other derivatives on the money market, and then more importantly, those who tend to trade, you have dashboards. It's the same thing for us as well. So we have a dashboard that we tend to monitor who has brought in what, etc. And then how many numbers that have been increased based on the number of times they've clicked to stake. And that's how electronically this works. So we don't control it. Once we give the go-ahead, that is the command. And due to now the AI language, the prompt, you'll find that it selects by itself. So become lucky by increasing the number of stakes you have. So wherever you find yourself, please. I see Neo Digni Atukwe already watching us before we even come on stream. And well, our friend from Finland, Justice Ni Odate also is watching. Good morning to you, Justice, and the rest of your family as well. Sherry Giovanni, Samuel, how are you? And then Prince Nyani York is in the UK. I wish you a blessed week as well. Zelis Dwayne is in the UK as well. Kwesi Mensa, who has his niece celebrating the birthday today, is also watching us from Albany, New York. And let me say good morning to all of you for also being with us. Well, let me just quickly do our introduction. I have right here with me Fifi Boafo, formerly the manager for corporate affairs or public relations, Cocoa Board, and then also at the office of the chief executive is here. And good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning.
How's Dr. Mahmoud Baumia?
He's doing excellent. He's doing very, very well.
And how are the constituents of Takwa and Swahim? I know that's your main constituency as well.
Yeah. Takwa is fine. Takwa is actually, there are interesting conversations going on in Takwa about gold fields and all that. But Takwa is doing very well.
It's doing well. All right. And then, well, the two of them, that is the chief executive of the MPA is here as well, lawyer Dujitamaklo. He also happens to be the director legal for the NDC.
Is he still the director legal?
I
You should take that position from
No.
You should take. You are protesting, huh?
Yeah.
Are you a member of the NDC?
I'm not.
Okay.
But I thought the NDC said nobody should be in government and then also occupy party position.
Who said that? By release or by word of mouth?
So you've not heard it?
No, I've not.
You are even ignoring the directive from the party.
I've not heard it. So
Edoji.
show me the directive. He said
Work-
those who are contesting the election again, they
But
would have to
we need
resign.
you to work at MP. You have a huge responsibility.
But can you not chew corn and still walk?
No, but then why this multitasking? Concentrate.
I'm able to.
And do yourself. We want you to concentrate and make sure that you have cheaper fuel.
Don't worry.
You are
Very
combining
soon.
with NDC
Very soon.
plenty legal issues.
I'll leave it to you.
Exactly. I don't want to.
By the way, good morning to you,
Daddy, you're
Roland,
welcome.
and good morning to our cherished viewers. Good morning to my learned senior and your good self. I think there's something I want to commend somebody for quickly. The contractor doing the road from Joje, Aflao to Ho. I mean, he should continue that good work. During the election,
Is it one contractor? I thought that's in lots.
I don't know the details. But during the election, I used that road through Agotimekpetoy to the priority that has been given by His Excellency the President to that particular road. I'm particularly excited about. And the contractor on that, I don't know who the person is, whether they are contractors, but they are doing, if you see the asphaltic overlay, beautiful.
I think it's first.
Let me urge all the contractors who are being given road contracts to ensure they execute. I mean, it's a great honor for a president or a government to say, Ghanaian company, do this project for us. You need to put in everything. And two most important, the 3.5 kilometer Afram Plains Bridge, and then the OT1. I am monitoring it, the contractors do an excellent job and you forever be remembered.
Well, the two of them are sandwiching lawyer Apia Dankwa of the United Party. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How's Mr. Lanchamanting?
He's doing great. In fact, I'd made a point to remind you to ask about Lanchamanting if you had not.
I always remember
based on
immediately I see the president, John Mahama, and then I see Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the presidential candidate of the MPP and the former vice president. Then I remember him.
No,
Alan was trade minister under the MPP administration.
Alan Chawati is doing.
That's public knowledge.
Anytime this issue comes, they want to undercut with that particular.
But Alan served under President Kufuor in the MPP.
He proposed.
But understand he was under
he proposed the 10
You give him trade minister and then you set up a secretariat at the office of the president to run the flagship program on industrialization.
He gave them the 10 points. The 10 points.
The not doing
why? He gave another 10 points.
Gentlemen, please. Our time is very short.
Agenda, and you guys didn't.
No, I'm just saying that he worked under the
But the point is that he gave you the 10 points industrialization agenda.
He was a
and
member
you showed little commitment, but he didn't control fiscal policy. And you showed little commitment to those transformational projects by refusing to fund them. So, I think, good morning to your lovely viewers. Always a privilege sharing a platform with my learned friend, Eduji, and Fifi, stubborn Fifi. Always a privilege.
Oh, I thought you were the stubborn one.
and it's always a privilege also to be hosted by you. So hopefully today we can have a great conversation in service of our country and our God.
Well, thank you. So today, post the subject matter of the Wontumi judgment in itself, we know that there are processes in place for appeal, grant of appeal. Now, really, if we, based on perusing the judgment, what could be the possible grounds for which the now convicted person, that's Bernardine Tribo-Itiako himself, could institute that appeal or file that appeal in the first place? Well, if they have to again canvass those points, what would they be? According to what the Deputy Attorney General says, the Attorney General is insisting this is a thorough judgment and there could be no possible grounds, but in law there always could be, because you listen to the defense counsels of Chairman Wontumi. They say that the judgment in itself shouldn't have happened the way it did. The outcome needs to be questioned, and those who form part of the grounds of appeal. Now, in the first place, because we have at least two distinguished lawyers right here, and then also those who are very much conversant with the law as well, all seated, we again need to build the subject. And then post the budget, how are we going to make sure we get the right sort of funding for our road projects? And then also aspect of the energy sector that the budget looked at. How do we make sure that we get the right sort of funding as well? Are we then going to go back? Okay. Are we going to go back to the international market to go and borrow? What sort of borrowing? Should it be concessionary or should it be commercial? We've seen that in our country over the decades. So we'll be discussing that, but straight away, and I'll go to you, Fifi. You've perused the judgment, and Saturday was awashed with a lot of concerns being raised from Apia Kubi right here, and then also on the competitor side, Atachia, who have represented Wontumi at various stages of this trial, for which we have this judgment now.
Thank you very much. Let me start by saying that no one should be excited to see a brother fall. And for that reason, I am not too sure about those who are celebrating that Wontumi has been incarcerated. Wontumi was jailed 20 years by the courts, and the court says that, well, primarily, a concession that was given to him, he has given the same concession to other people to mine without permission. Wontumi's position is that, and Akunta mining position, is that that is not the case. Indeed, he gave the land for the person to do rehabilitation on the land. Well, according to the ruling, the judge is not buying the position of Wontumi, and he says that there are evidence, circumstantial evidence, indeed not any direct proof that indeed Wontumi authorized and ensured that the gentleman went ahead to mine on the land without authorization and permission. So the lawyers have made a point that they believe that the basis of this ruling is not one that should stand, and for which reason they will appeal the ruling. And it's a right that Wontumi has as an individual. It's interesting to see that the person, if indeed, as a country, our commitment is to fight illegal mining, and anyone involved in illegal mining is punished. The person who admits undertaking the illegal mining is rather used to punish someone who was not directly involved, but he had a concession. Then one begins to ask the question, really, what was the intention, what was the motive, and why is Wontumi the one behind bars at this time round? They do not want us to believe that, well, Wontumi was the target, and for every reason we had to get Wontumi incarcerated. But like I said, Wontumi as an individual reserved the right to go back to court. It does not lie with the Deputy Attorney General to say that whether he will succeed or not. It's a matter for the court to determine. So yes, the lawyers have perused the judgment, and they are of the firm belief that that should not have been the ruling, and for which reason they want to go to court to challenge the ruling that was given. Beyond that, if you say that there is no justifiable cause for Wontumi to go back to court and appeal, the question you need to ask yourself is that what do you expect from the Attorney General? The Attorney General went to court, and then he was expecting that Wontumi will be jailed, and indeed he got that. So the same person, if you're appealing against a ruling he has secured in court, definitely he would protest and say that, well, he does not believe that Wontumi will get it. So I do not want us to rely on what the Attorney General is saying, because yes, for him, what he was hoping for, what was praying, is what he got from the court. But the lawyers have said, one, that there was no evidence to show that Wontumi indeed gave an assignment to the gentleman who was believed to be mining on his behalf.
You mean there was no documentary evidence?
And it's a legal question, because as to whether or not to have assigned interest in a concession to another person, it is not, and this was a situation where it was Wontumi's word against that of the gentleman who was mining on his behalf. There's no documentation. Just as the court, the authority, the minister, assigned the lease to a Akunta mine, same was expected if he was also assigning the lease to another person. Was there any evidence to that effect in court? That was not adduced during the hearing. Beyond that, they said that the guy was mining for Wontumi. I am not sure that the evidence produced was enough to justify that indeed Wontumi asked him to do that. Wontumi has asserted that for him, he asked him to perform a specific function. And what the court is concluding on is not what he did. But like I said, it's a matter for the court to determine. And they have the right to proceed to court. We wait to see what the court will say. As for those who are of the strong belief that, well, Wontumi indeed is guilty of the offense he was charged with and for which reason his incarceration was right, it's an individual position you have to take, and then I respect that. But we'll wait to see what the court will say after the hearing. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Eduji, the point is that if you listen to lawyer Atachia and then also the concerns that have been raised by his previous lawyer before Atachia came in, you would find that they all seem to agree that there seemed to be not enough evidence for that conclusion to be drawn by the judge, as we saw in the judgment. And so putting all the circumstances that was aggregated, accumulated to draw that conclusion was wrong. And so for an appeal process, they should be successful, they say.
Okay, so the success or otherwise on appeal would largely be based on the grounds formulated, the nature of the evidence that were put before the trial court. And the first principle that we must all agree is that appeal is by way of rehearing. So the three appellate courts are put in the place of the trial judge. So they will be going through the trial as though they were the court of first instance. But just that in this case, they don't have the benefit of evaluating demeanors and all of those things. They will be looking purely on the record. Then, based on that, they will be making, so like the lawyers will say, appeal is by way of rehearing. So they will be put in the place of the trial court. But you see, I've heard a lot of comments, particularly on this Wontumi trial. And I think that we need to do a bit more of critical thinking on these issues. You see, look, I think the MPP as a political party failed Wontumi. And they are hiding that failure by trying to shift the goalposts to other people. Why do I say so? The first time that this Wontumi matter became a matter of public conversation was by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources under the MPP, who first raised the issue that Akonta mining is engaged in a forest without the necessary authorization. That should have been a red flag for the MPP. This is your original chairman. This is what he does. It is your collective responsibility to ensure that he does it right. You failed him. And instead of taking responsibility for that failure, you are looking for judges. You are looking for people to blame. No. Look, if you recall, this same Samra boy and Tano, Akonta mining and Wontumi in particular, if you call the 2013 incident, where he accused that the previous Mahama administration, officers of state had destroyed his mining concession and others. When the MPP came to power, he decided to issue a writ to challenge that process. The matter went before my Lord Justice Ajay Frimpong. At that time, he was a justice of the Court of Appeal. Now he's a Supreme Court judge. When he evaluated the entire evidence, he came to the conclusion that whatever the state agencies did at that time was lawfully carried out. It didn't end there. 2023, Samates, you know them.
Yeah, very well.
You know Samates. Wontumi went on to Samates forestry concession and started mining. Samates issued a writ against Wontumi for trespass onto their concession.
In a civil
matter. I'm just giving you a pattern of conduct. The matter went before the High Court judge at 2nd D. I still remember, I think I have the case. If you look, when the matter went before the High Court judge in 2nd D, Samates won against Wontumi. And the High Court judge in 2023, not 2026 or 2025, the High Court judge came to the conclusion that Wontumi had trespassed on Samates concession and were engaged in illegal mining.
Engaged in illegal mining?
Yes. I just want to read portions of the judgment for you.
Samates versus Akunta mining?
Yes. So this is the decision in the High Court of Justice, Western Region, held at the 2nd D on the 19th day of May 2023, before her ladyship, Efia Edu Amankwa, Samates Timber and Plywood Company Limited versus Akunta Mining Services. This is the decision of the High Court. And if you look at the 16-page judgment, he said, even though the defendant has acquired the mining right to subject Samurai Boy through the mining lease agreement between the government of Ghana and the defendant, blah, 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 that mining lease is invalid. In the circumstance, the defendant counterclaim is dismissed. That is wound to me.
But, Odoji, not to interrupt.
Look, I'm coming. Please, I'm coming. At that time, Wontumi claimed that he should be given damages for all based on that counterclaim. The High Court judge found him and invalidated the supposed lease. This is Samates. Then came the decision of Akunta Mining versus the Minister for Interior, Defense, among others. That again, the court found that Akunta Mining had engaged in illegal mining.
This is just a question.
But you see,
it's a question for you
please
to clarify.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes. So I have not read this judgment.
Please, I will share with you later.
Based on what you just said, I'm only asking the question. Is it also not the case that Wontumi went on or Akunta Mining, because the company is a distinct personality from Wontumi as an individual? Were they not also claiming that indeed a lease had been given to them and the lease covered that portion of land, so for which reason he did not just enter on that plot of land as though he just decided to do so without a lease? Is that not what his contention was at the time?
See, at that time, the concession was that Wontumi had failed to comply with the laws of this country for whatever he's doing. Mining is regulated. You can't just wake up and say, I'm going to mine. Yeah. So the point I am making is that they had been consistent. In fact, they had been...
I was only asking the question. Did he have a lease for that portion of land?
The court said it was invalid for whatever
but he had a lease.
No, but the point is that...
he was not just somebody who had decided to go and then disregard the law.
I am making this point. I am making this point because, you see, 2019, my Lord Justice Ajay Frimpong had ruled against him, the same mining activity. 2023, the same High Court. So I am making the point that even prior to this judgment, there were subsisting judgments of the High Court of this country against the company that you people knew, but took a certain posturing. Sometimes I have the feeling that you guys felt you will never lose power.
Yeah.
And therefore, there was a certain level of impunity with which you handle some of these undertakings. Look, I remember when Anado appeared before the Catholic Bishop Conference in Koforidua and made the point that as far as he's concerned, as at the time you were speaking, Wontumi was not engaged in galamsey, that for me should have been a red flag. Look, this morning I heard you make the point that, listen, the basis on which this judgment came, circumstantial, there was no direct evidence and all of those things. You are a lawyer to be, so you are a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. The first thing we are taught in the law of evidence class is that there are two things every lawyer looks for: the burden of proof and the burden of persuasion. These two things. We know that in criminal trial, the burden of proof is on the prosecution and is proved beyond reasonable doubt. But we also do know that within this burden, there is also a burden of persuasion.
Yeah.
That burden of persuasion is not fixed. It oscillates.
Yeah, it can shift,
it moves from parties to parties.
At which point, or the instance of
okay,
the
so the point is that in a trial like this case, when you make a positive assertion, the burden is on you to prove. That's persuasion. So where, for instance, you make the claim that I brought Henry Okun onto the concession only for reclamation. Who bears that burden? Council. Oh, my brother.
but so
because
you see, at that point, he brought the gentleman for a specific
and that is
duty.
what
That is
why I asked that. So the burden,
that's what he said.
So the burden was.
So if you disagree,
wait.
I'll allow you to proceed. If you disagree, he says that, well, I brought him to come and do reclamation. If you disagree, the burden is on you.
No. First of all, no. The burden doesn't shift.
It is you who is alleging that the person was there for different purpose.
In order for us to reduce the interjection,
I don't intend to do that.
You see,
Council, you have 2 minutes.
I will finish with that. You see, in this particular case, you came and said, in fact, if you look at, and let me read Chairman Wuntumi's paragraph 8 of his witness statement that he gave when he appeared before the court. I just want to read that portion, the paragraph 8, if you permit me. And like we always say, nothing convicts a man faster than his own words.
And this was under cross-examination?
No, the witness statement that he offered. And this is why he said, paragraph 8. I wish to state clearly and unambiguously that the permission I granted to Mr. Henry Okun was strictly and exclusively for the purpose of land reclamation. Specifically, the planting of cocoa seedlings on the already mined and degraded portions of A3 concession. I did not at any time grant Henry Okun permission to conduct, undertake, or carry any mining operation or to extract minerals from A3 concession. The permission I granted was limited solely to reclamation activities on the mine out portion. That's your bare assertion, bare words. Now the man, Henry Okun, you are saying that it shifts to him. So the man now comes and says, Chairman, this is not what we agreed to do. What we agreed to do was that, one, you are not giving me any money for reclamation. I will mine. And the portion where I went on to were on the unmined. You only reclaim that which had already been mined.
Yeah.
So you cannot be talking about reclamation when the place you asked me to go is the unmined portion. That testimony was never controverted.
Yeah.
That testimony under cross-examination was never controverted by Wuntumi's lawyers.
So it's
under cross-examination.
So it gives a cause for.
So it leaves it hanging. So what it means is that even if it's on oath by oath,
no cross-examination.
Yes,
on appeal, it's just the record. That is that. So that is why I'm making the point that when you go on appeal, that is the only thing. Then now the man says that, Chairman, you know reclamation is expensive. Did you give me any money for reclamation? No, because you wanted me to mine to pay. So where can pay arrangement? All these things are in the testimony. That is why when he brought the Western Regional
Minister,
the former Western Regional Minister, as his prosecution witness, under cross-examination, a simple question was put to him. Were you there? What would be his answer? Definitely not. You were just the chairman of RECSEC. So the point I am making is that if you read throughout the case point by point, you will notice that there was a simple case of failure. Look, this is what is it Ochridakun?
Joe Ochridakun.
This is why he said, in my capacity as the chairman of the Western Regional Security Council, I presided over the council's meeting, coordinated the council's responses to security threats and challenges in the region. I had direct access to and familiarity with the official records, correspondence, and proceedings. I was personally involved in the council deliberation of matters relating to illegal mining in the Western region, which was one of the most significant security and environmental challenges. This is what he said. So if you look at all of this, it comes to the conclusion that either there was a failure in strategy or there was most of the things were just an afterthought. I make this point mindful of the fact that the proof is proof beyond reasonable doubt.
Precisely.
But the rule of law has always been not fanciful doubt. That is the rule of law. The rule of law is beyond reasonable doubt, not fanciful doubt. So if you decide that you dwell on fanciful doubt, the court will resolve the matters, most importantly, against you. But I just want to read this and so that we can. Look, PW2, under cross-examination, this is what he says.
Let's talk about it.
Yes, I will. During the time that you started mining in their contact concession, did A1 ever come to the site to supervise your operations? Then answer, no, my lady, A1 did not. In fact, indeed, first accused himself told the court that he never visited the mine site after tasking PW2 to carry out land reclamation on that land. So at all material time, there was some uniformity, admission that at least Henry Okum came onto the land through the invitation by Wontumi. So what are we talking about? Where you are now, excuse my language.
He was never there.
Please, hold
to
on.
see that indeed illegal mining was taking place.
I'm coming
so
to you.
He could say that yes, he was not aware of that.
I'm wrapping up on this. You see, where you are now, if you have a concession, can me, Eduji, a bystander, just walk onto the concession?
You want me to answer?
Yes.
Of course, he gave the person a permission, and the permission was for a specific activity, reclamation. And that's what it is.
Do you know that it was Akonta Mining that engaged the Western Regional Security Council to ensure that the activities of Henry Okum was protected? Do you know that?
And his activity was reclamation.
For security. Brought security for reclamation. Okay.
Well, you may have your doubts, but then it does not.
No, it's a question.
If there is any doubt in a criminal trial, it must not go against the accused.
No, you resolve doubt in favor of the accused, but not fanciful doubt.
This is not fanciful.
Is it not a possibility that one ground of appeal for the lawyers for Wontumi for this very appeal will be that there's been over-reliance on the testimony or the evidence of PW2?
Interesting. When you said, is there a possibility? I remembered one of our favorite days in Faculty of Law when a mate of mine said, asked, is there a possibility, so and so, and Professor Kumado said, dismissed it and actually gave her a name. Madam Possible. Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Possible.
I still call that she's my sister, Mrs. Asari. A good morning, and I wish her a lovely day, whoever she's currently at work. But when he said the possible, I just remembered that. You see, I don't know. Before that, I agree on. I stand on all forces with the position of my brother Eduji. I think the argument is legally sound, and I do not have to rehash a lot of things he has said. But I find it very interesting the position the MPP, first of all, has taken. I don't know why they keep on rehashing assignment. Have they read the charges and have they considered the terms of Section 14 of the Minerals and Mining Act under which he was charged? When you read that section, I know that the heading is assignment, but the prohibition or the law there is clear that you cannot assign, you cannot transfer, you cannot mortgage, you cannot create any encumbrance, you cannot allow anybody to deal with your concession without the express consent of the minister, which consent should not be unreasonably withheld. I think it's pretty clear there. And so I don't know why they keep on talking about assignment, because the Section 41 there is not just about assignment, but also includes allowing somebody to deal with your concession without the express consent of the minister. Also, writing. I think it is also quite clear that I think that under Section 106, any contravention of the Minerals Act is an offense, constitutes an offense. Not so. So I think that position is also clear. And also, I think if there's one fact that we cannot dispute, is the fact that there was illegal mining activity beyond the contravention of Section 14 happening on Wuntumi's concession. Yeah, there was because I think the evidence is pretty clear that Ukum was engaging in mining activities on Wuntumi's concession.
They both agreed.
Yeah, I think that is pretty clear, and for me, I think it is fundamentally clear. As the MVP failed Wuntumi, but most importantly, they failed Ghana. The bigger issue that they failed Ghana, because it's not a worry that, in spite of the terms of Article 257 of our Constitution, which creates in the President of Ghana, he's a trustee over the properties of this country. And then, one of the fundamental duties of a trustee, first of all, is to protect the property. That you must prevent stealing of the property. Because Galamsey is essentially stealing. Galamsey is essentially stealing. And in spite of all that, and in spite of the clear words of his minister in charge of mining, because like Eduji rightly said, this was one activity that the president had not been notified of. Yes. I mean, we all knew that the minister then raised issues about what was happening at Samaraboy. We all know, not so specifically. But even if I have to expand, we also all know that per Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, way back in 2021, the president knew clearly about the activities going on and about the serious and tacit involvement of Akuta mining.
But that's outside this instant case.
Now, what I'm saying is that go and read the Prof. Frimpong Boateng's report again. He made
they are irrelevant to this instant case.
What I'm saying is, I'm saying that beyond whether appeal or no appeal, what I'm saying is that if there's one fact which is not under dispute, is the fact that Galamsey activities was going on the land, the subject matter of this case. It's clear. You understand? If there's nothing that is in dispute, the fact that the president knew or ought to know, because the minister had given him, his minister in charge, had given him notice.
And this is something that he put his presidency on
the line for. Now,
that generally is for Galamsey across Ghana.
Particularly that Galamsey was happening there. The REXIC. So, per our governance architecture, we have a regional security, you understand? And really, they are the agents of the president. Really, all the REXIC across the country are agents of the president. So when they know of something going on, the president can be presumed to also be in the know. Now, the evidence, like my brother Eduji made reference to, show that Wuntumi or the REXIC were meant to be protecting Ukum. So the REXIC throughout that period didn't see if indeed the purpose for granting that protection was for the planting of coconut trees.
For reclamation.
And he said
is it not possible that the REXIC could also be brought in based on request?
But you see, Roland, your question, Roland's question is to the effect that reclamation. But you all know that reclamation is a mining support service and can only be conducted by somebody registered to undertake. So on what basis would you invite somebody who has no such registration to conduct?
Why was the Attorney General not interested in all these matters? But the interest was just
No, Henry Okum, you see that the mistake you guys make. No, please. I think I need to correct this misconception. The impression has been created by the MPP that the AG targeted Wuntumi. There were series of accused persons. Then one person went to the AG and said, Attorney General. No, he said, Attorney General, I want a plea.
But
that is what formed the basis.
So
it's
you're
not
saying
AG.
that the plea options were available for all of them?
All of them. Wuntumi just felt that he could defend his action. But Henry said no. In fact, he even said when the MPP did free Wuntumi, they excluded him from. Nobody said free Henry. That was when he said, the way things are going, I may be left in the loop. So let me approach the Attorney General. That is what is on record.
That's what one to be.
Please.
Anyway, so the point I was making with the RegSec issue was, if indeed we all agree.
And I'm coming. That is not possible. That you are reclaiming land.
You are still doing possible. But the point is that what it means is that
because we do not have evidence.
I said that there's no dispute.
That you need security to reclaim land.
But that is not the focus of what I'm saying. So take your time and finish. What I'm saying is that please
telling us that they went there to see.
It is my time. Stop this. Stop this. I'm speaking. Stop this. Stop this.
You know what?
Where from this one?
You are distorting his thought.
No. You see, what I'm saying is, if there's no dispute as the fact that galamsey or illegal mining actually happened on the land beyond the reclamation, then it means that the RegSec knew about that. They knew because they were there to protect, and they saw illegal mining happening. They knew. Now the point is, what steps did they take? So and then by inference, the president ought to know. Yeah, because if RegSec were there, they were protecting. They saw illegal mining happening. They saw galamsey happening. So beyond whether or not there was reclamation, they actually saw galamsey happening. The president saw galamsey happening.
The president?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. RegSec, the original RegSec are actually the agents of the president.
And in fact, there was a letter. There was a letter from Akunta Mane signed by Wuntumi to the RegSec.
So
it's on record.
So the RegSec knew that galamsey was happening. So by inference, the president knew because the RegSec are the agents of the president. The president
Why do you like bringing the president?
Yeah, because he is the one we created the trust in. He is the one we created the trust in. You understand? Then the president, with all this information, or His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, with all this information available to him, had the audacity to stand in front of Ghanaians, because you see, per the terms of Article 1 of our Constitution, sovereign power belongs to us. You see, sovereign power belongs to the people. So the president is there and he's exercising power that we have given him. So he's accountable to us. You understand? And in spite of that, and in spite of the fact that we had created in him a trust, and in spite of the fact that the president had information, you understand? Based on the letters given to from Akunta to RegSec. Based on the fact that RegSec were there, the president stood in front of Ghanaians and lied. He lied. He told us that so far as he was concerned, Akunta Mane was not involved in galamsey. He lied. And you see, should accountability, you see, we should look at the terms of accountability, because accountability, probity and accountability is one of the bedrocks of this democracy. And the philosophy of deterrence, as was copiously espoused in this case, and was given as one of the reasons why Wuntumi was granted 20 years. In my view, we should look at whether or not we cannot hold persons that we've held trust over the resources of this country who have negligently and criminally sat down and allowed the property, the trust property, to be stolen, blatantly to be stolen. You understand? Whether or not beyond, as in, we shouldn't have proper accountability on such persons. And indeed, because you see, we should look at that. That's whether or not there cannot be any basis for hauling the president. I'm asking Ghanaians a question. Whether or not we cannot look at hauling the president and have criminal accountability, hold him criminally liable for this blatant, a crime done against Ghana. And you see, and the MPP have the temerity to come and sit on air and raise very, I don't want to use the word useless. I'm struggling not to use the word useless, because take all so you take all the arguments they are making in respect of. First of all, they claim Wuntumi is a political prisoner. Come on, Wuntumi is a political prisoner. How can you make that when Wuntumi has been convicted clearly under a term of a law that by inference we the people of Ghana took upon ourselves to protect?
Not only that, the amendment to the Minerals and Mining Act was done in 2019 and assented to by President Anado.
Why do you people keep referring to?
Was it for political prisoners?
Two. Then they talk about it's not a direct evidence, it's circumstantial evidence. Jesus Christ. Our Evidence Act recognizes circumstantial evidence as a credible evidence in our
since
in our
1965.
And the principle is simply the circumstances. The better one is to prove the surrounding
fact from facts.
And the question is, when you put all these circumstances together, does it lead you to one irresistible conclusion? Now the point is that one to me, per his own evidence, said, listen, I allowed this guy to enter onto my land. Then he interestingly made an assertion that, listen.
But he said, I didn't tell him to go and...
So he says that. And that was when my brother was saying, and he won't understand. So beyond his saying that was when there was a burden on him. That's what the judge asked, that did you even have a payment agreement? So there was no evidence really about the agreement between Wontumi and himself. 2, the Okum guy then gives a different evidence. He says that, listen, what you allowed me to do, what you tagged me to do, was to go and mine, use the process of that mine to reclaim. Now, based on evidence that was adduced before court, can you reasonably say that it led to any other conclusion? When clearly there was no evidence to the effect that I was going to pay him for this very expensive venture. You see, there are serious questions that Ghanaians ought to have, serious debates that need to be done. First of all, I'm saying that the first one is whether or not we should not have a situation where the president can be held accountable for issues where he sat down and breached the fundamental terms of his trust. And 2, the question Ghanaians should be asking, and it's a serious question I've already been saying, is MPP a party, this current MPP, that has an ambition towards granting proper service, or they are there to use this vehicle to pursue their parochial political agenda? Because in how they have...
How do you draw those conclusions when in 2016 they were given massive votes to rule this country as well?
And so they were given a mandate. Now, how did they use that mandate? You understand? You were given a mandate, and one of the most critical mandates, you understand, per our constitution, was a mandate that says that you are supposed to hold our mineral resources in trust. And one of the requirements where a trust has been created on you is that one, you protect the trust property. That you are held to be in a position of fiduciary in respect of that trust property. So when the MPP, when the president they sponsored, sat down, in spite of all the information available to him, beyond him not taking any action to prevent the stealing of the trust property, also had the cockroach audacity to stand in front of us Ghanaians, his sovereign. He had the cockroach audacity to stand in front of us and tell us a blatant lie. The question is, we ought to ask ourselves this question. This MPP party, do they have the interest of Ghana at heart? Or this MPP party, do they believe that the reason why you should pursue power so that you serve the people, that indeed we ought to have a discussion whether or not accountability, criminal accountability, should not be extended on the president in whom a trust has been given, when really he suddenly criminally allowed that trust to be breached. These are questions that Ghanaians ought to ask themselves.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, that if there has to be a canvas appeal point, that there's over-reliance on the prosecution witness, testimony in court, or also during cross-examination of PW2, that also could be a good point. Now, if Wontumi, as a director of Akunta Mining, then makes a decision that's in the name of Akunta Mining, why then do you go for the director? Could be a good point also to canvas, won't you say?
Well, you've made a point, so I will not belabor it, but then just to respond to a few things that has been said on this table. I know we have another equally important topic to discuss. And my brother, I think I should probably seek an appointment for him to have a conversation with Nana Akufo-Addo to resolve whatever issues he has with Nana Akufo-Addo, because the name Nana Akufo-Addo has a way of charging in a special way. But there was a conversation on this table about the MPP saying that Wontumi is a political prisoner. And they said that, well, it's unheard of. You can see what I have on my phone, right? Okay, so I'll read it to you. The Quality Grain case, a political trial, a political judgment, and 3 political prisoners. The unjust trial and imprisonment of Ibrahim Adam, Kwame Pepra and George Sepa Nyanki. Okay,
who is the author of that?
Oh, the NDC.
Okay.
Yeah, the NDC authored this. So, in that case, they could say that the 3 persons were political prisoners, people who were also given a mandate to protect our public purse. And the court said that they did not do so. And indeed, they were jailed. The NDC referred to them as political prisoners. But to me, someone who has his company has given someone a mandate to work on his behalf, and they say that, well, what you ask the person to do, or what you say you ask the person to do, did not do exactly what it is. And we believe that the manner in which the hearing went is not what was expected, cannot be described as a political prisoner. Well, the jury is out there for everybody to know. But I think Edoji also did something very unfair to the MPP and to me. When he started citing instances where Wuntumi has been to court on issues about mining, and for which reason he concluded that, well, this is someone, it is in his DNA, that's what he does.
No, I didn't use DNA.
I know, please. But then by inference.
So don't put that
by inference, that's what you're doing.
I said a part.
Circumstantial. You know what? If you're a media person, whenever you have an issue, it will be related to the media, right? To me, it's trite knowledge that he's into mining. So if someone who is into mining is taken to court and is mining related, does it mean that, yes, the person has set out just to do the wrong things? No, it is mining related. So, for example, the Samna Boy case he was making reference to.
That's a civil case, yes.
A civil case, someone has been given a lease, and then someone is also claiming that the lease you've been given covers portion of our land. Really, is that someone who is just out there to commit a crime? No.
No, but
he says he has a lease.
You see, the point I made was that as far as 2023, there had been pronouncement of the High Court that whatever undertaking was illegal.
It was illegal in reference to the fact that they believe that that portion of the land belonged to them.
No, the High Court actually found
that it was illegal mining.
The laws of this country.
It wasn't illegal mining.
No, please. What is illegal mining? Not doing it pursuant to the laws of this country. That's the only thing. And that is the position of the High Court. And that is what I'm saying, that you had the benefit advance. That this is why your chairman does. Let's protect him or something. Very well. No, proceed.
But you see, the interesting bit about the conversation, that, the president has a fiduciary duty to us.
To call to order.
To ensure that our land is protected. Indeed, President Mahama today has the same fiduciary responsibility to us as citizens. Are we saying that there's no illegal mining going on in Ghana? There is. So, is my brother going to ask that President Mahama be charged for criminally allowing illegal mining to go on in this country? Indeed, President Mahama has said that there are members of his party, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, involved in illegal mining. So, what happened to that fiduciary duty on the president? Has he been exculpated just because it's John Mahama as president? No.
He said
the double standards we are exhibiting.
There could be.
Oh, could be. He didn't say it could be. He knows his party people. Indeed. His Attorney General, Iyoko, is Iyoko not investigating national officers of the NDC? These are not even regional officers. National officers. What has happened to that? And what happens to the fiduciary relationship the president has with us as a people? You know what? Yes, we all agree as people that there's a challenge, there's a problem we face with illegal mining. And when we are discussing it, let us not seek to create the impression as though there's a section of the people in our society or a political party that encourages people to do that. The NDC today is facing a worse problem of illegal mining. What are they doing about it? Let us be frank with ourselves. I do not want us to continue having this whole conversation because we have to talk about the budget and what the president are told not meeting his target and ensuring that contractors will be paid and all that. But if we want to discuss Wontumi, the matter will go to the court, the appellate court for adjudication. But any attempt to create the impression that it's the MPP that is encouraging that, I think that is very unfair.
I think a sharp rebuttal.
I think the point ought to be made very clear that, you see, if you look at this particular trial, and let me repeat again, the MPP as a political grouping cannot take itself away. The attempt at politicizing this trial and saying that Wontumi is a political prisoner, I think is unfair. First of all, the amendment...
So the quality grades was also unfair.
The Minerals and Mining Act was amended in 2019 under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to enhance the activities that will ground this offense and introduce stiffer punishment. It used to be 5 years. You brought it to 15, minimum 15, maximum 25. That thing was done by you. Was that law passed for political prisoners? I don't think so, Fifi. You designed a law. In fact, at the point, a leading member of the MPP even prescribed shooting, death, not even 15 years, as punishment for galamsey or illegal mining. That is the extent to which you guys went. So why are you trying to bring the NDC into this conversation? You see, I've also seen a desperate attempt to make this whole look politics. I said earlier, Henry Okum made the offer to the Attorney General. The Attorney General felt by way of legal strategy to put that. I remember when we were doing the Atoforce matter, the second accused and the company, Big C, offered to refund the money to the Attorney General. At that time, the Attorney General said, until they see current finance minister, they won't accept the plea. That's your strategy.
But to the extent that Wontumi is the regional chair of the MPP, and even going for the national chairmanship position, what do you expect in such a trial?
Can I read something to you?
Please do.
My senior Api Akubi, in cross-examining Henry Okum, this is what he asked, a question he asked. So now that you understand that there are two entities separately identified, the question is, did you receive any permission from A3, that's Akonta Mining, before going on to the concession? And listen to Henry Okum. I do not know Akonta Company. Again, before I went there, it was Chairman Wontumi who went to do the operation on the ground for me through the Regional Security Council. And the letter that we wrote to RECSEC was on Akonta Mining letterhead, and that was signed by Chairman Wontumi. What are you talking about, my brother? These are matters that, and this is cross-examination. The answer that was offered. And
that he didn't know anybody else except, and was dealing only with Chairman Wontumi.
Absolutely.
Is that ground enough?
So what I'm saying is that, the MPP or his regional chairmanship was not on trial. I'm just in response to your question. It was never on trial. But you see, this morning I see you pull quality grade. Have you read that quality grade judgment?
I have.
See, I have never seen a judgment by a judge where the judge himself struggles to find a basis for conviction. Look, Justice Afre starts his judgment in the quality grains case by saying that the misconception in the public is that these people are being tried for stealing and corruption. I want to disabuse the mind of the public. The accused persons are being charged with a new crime that was created only in 1993 under Section 179A. That's Justice Dixon Kwame Afre struggling to find the basis to convict Richard Kwampepra, Honorable, and the rest. And so, after that trial, the NDC had a basis to say that, look, this trial, for God knows, wouldn't have happened. Obviously, we know the other issues. But I just want to, on this Wontumi matter, say that the position of the law has been canvassed. And I read the submission from both sides, because that's what I've been doing as a lawyer, criminal defense for all these years. I wanted to see, like, if there were real matters that we could also look at. Look, I listened to my senior attaché make the point that these trials are looking like ambulance trial among others. See, you remember the trial of Mr. William TV, the former NCA boss.
Yes.
Good. That case, we're doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 8 hours every week. That was not ambulance trial. Autoforcing. We were doing autoforcing's matter Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. 4 hours every day, continuous. That was not ambulance. Colin Dada Sagleme, the judge who was handling it was a justice of the Court of Appeal. You go and do his morning trial and come in the afternoon. From 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Continuous. Jachi Kwesen. You remember Jachi Kwesen? Honorable Jachi Kwesen. His trial was daily. It was not ambulance. That is why sometimes when I listen to leading members of the MPP, I don't know whether it is forgetfulness, deliberate or selective amnesia, because these are the rules you set. Nothing new had happened. The Plea Bargaining Act, who passed it? Wasn't that under the MPP? Yeah. The Plea Bargaining Act. It was passed under the MPP. Henry Okum decided to take advantage of a law passed and assented to by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Now you say, no, the Attorney General targeted only Wontumi. Did Wontumi make a plea? It is different. If Wontumi made a plea and the Attorney General refused and said, look, I want at all costs to have you tried, that is when you would have made that. But the accused persons involved, one came and said, look, Attorney General, I think that my involvement in this matter is without doubt. Globally, prosecutors always flip accused persons. In fact, one of the things that we are taught in industrial economics is game theory, the prisoner's dilemma. Sometimes you isolate suspects and get them to even implicate when there are incentives. These things are all prosecutorial strategies. I think that we should get to the point where we can look at these matters. Look, I've had clients, we went to court, NCA one morning, May 2020. We went for judgment. We were confident that we were going to be acquitted and discharged. The High Court judge found my client guilty, convicted in 4 years imprisonment. I left the court so heartbroken because my client at that time had done 19 years on dialysis. 19 solid years on dialysis. The judge looked him in the face. He never stole public funds. He never corrupted himself. The offense was that he procured cybersecurity equipment without a board approval, without public procurement authorization. He went to prison for 4 years. We took it in our stride. So sometimes when I listen to how our
friends... They should also take it in their stride.
No, I mean, that's... we went through an appeal. I'm saying that we went through an appeal. The NDC as a political party didn't do public procession and what have you. Indeed, did you hear the party attack? What shall I say? The judge, my Lord Justice Eric Cheba, for who did that? No. We went through the appellate process. I strongly believe that Chairman Wontumi, like every Ghanaian, has the constitutional right to appeal this judgment. Thankfully, the 3 appellate judges will be independent, will evaluate the evidence, they will evaluate the law, they will evaluate the fact, and if it merits a reversal, our courts in this country have done that. When we represented Ato Forsen, the High Court judge actually compelled him, more or less, to come and open his defense. Yeah. When we went to the Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal said, look, the basis for that was untenable. And he was eventually acquitted and discharged. So these are possibilities.
Among the grounds...
Have faith. I want to conclude on this. My brother Fifi...
Who should have faith?
Fifi. He should have faith in the judicial process. He should have faith in the rule of law and be hopeful that an appellate court may review the evidence on record and may come to a different conclusion. These are possibilities.
On the other hand, going by Section 99(2) and then also subsequently the sentence regime, they could also have grounds of appeal on sentence reduction. That's a possibility. Since you don't like my inference to possibility and instances of such matters.
So it can be possible. As to whether it will be probable, that's something something else. And
altogether.
If it will serve the public interest, that's something else.
Because now he has 20.
Yeah.
So among the grounds, it could be to reduce the sentence as well.
So usually for grounds, you look at set aside a conviction, set aside sentence. Oh no, I'm supporting.
No support.
Institutional support.
He just did a monologue. Allow the man to
institutional support.
So, you see, for me, now I'm saying that they can ask for a reduction if
well.
Yeah, that's their choice. But as to whether or not it will serve the public interest, that's something else. You understand?
Because he hasn't committed any.
He has committed an infraction. What do you mean?
I mean, by way of history.
By way of what?
Of history.
That was based on. In fact, the judge was very lenient. You have between 15 years and 25 years, and the judge gave 20 years. The judge is more than lenient. I'm being very honest with you. My opinion, I would have given 25 years.
Senior counsel.
I'm telling you. You understand? And that would have been legal. You see, and the defense is very laughable. Okay, so Wuntumi said he gave the guy a portion. In fact, my senior Akra and big brother, Kodechu Mwafu, asked me to ask you a question. I'm going to read the question. He says,
where is he?
He's comfortably watching us. He's happily watching us. So if Wuntumi gave Henry Okun,
for us to talk about football,
if Wuntumi gave Henry Okun an already mined part of the concession to do the reclamation, who mined the portion that Wuntumi gave Okun to reclaim?
No, the record shows that the unmined portion.
No, he's saying that.
Yeah, I get you.
Wuntumi's argument is that you get the picture. You see, the point is that Galamsey has become so endemic that the interest with this Wuntumi's case goes beyond normal sentencing, and that's why the judge gave a solid argument about the philosophical reason why she gave 20 years deterrence. Yesterday I drove from Kumasi. You know, some time ago, about last year, I came and I said I was coming from Kumasi.
The Konongo stretch.
And I saw, and also the around the Achim areas. Yesterday, you could see clearly that there was some kind of recovery. Clearly. I mean, you see the water bodies, and you could even see your reflection. I'm telling you, yesterday, I was with my brother, Solomon Osu. You can see.
Do you have evidence?
Oh, I'll send the pictures.
He did not say direct.
This is direct. This is direct. So, and to my brother is talking about, this is where I'm coming. My brother is talking about whether, you see, when Mahama had information that certain when President Mahama had information that certain NDC executives were involved in Galamsey, what step did he take? Yoko are investigating them. Because Yoko has not come out. Please let me land. Yoko has not come out. Now, what did Nanado do in similar circumstance? When Prof. Frimpong Boateng gave him that report, he sat on it. And Prof. Frimpong Boateng said that he gave the report twice to Nanado. He said he even gave the Council of State. What did he do? He slept on the report and asked, what's it called? Probably asked, what's it called? Office of Special Prosecutor, go after the prof for attempt for reporting that I'm
factually inaccurate.
I said probably. I'm coming.
So you don't have the information. Why do you raise it?
Listen, to start with. When Rexec had informed him that, listen, when you go to some boy, Wuntumi's a certain Okun is doing Galamsey. Nanado came and told all of us Ghanaians. A friend of mine has advised that, I shouldn't say lie. So he came to peddle an untruth. And he looked in our faces, no respect to us, the sovereign. And he told us, the bishops there, he didn't even, but he doesn't fear God. He told God that he doesn't fear God. They're going to build God what's called a cathedral, and we have a whole 98.
You cannot draw those conclusions.
You see, on this
did
platform,
he not promise
you know,
God to hold
and that subject matter is not for discussion.
Listen, I'm making a point.
Actually make a point.
Listen, I'm making a point which is related. That we had the point is that Nado was the trustee of the mines.
We are
and then we see what he's doing today. He's accountable to us, and he came and he looked in our faces. Right. We are bishops there and lied to us. And I'm saying that now when Mama was faced with the same issue, Iyoko are investigating them. Iyoko has not come out to exonerate them. Mama has not come and he's looked in our faces and told us that so far as he's concerned, the persons alleged to be...
Mahama says his people are doing it. What has he done about it? He says his people are involved. What has he done about it?
This is exactly what President Mahama said.
Let's do small budget.
President Mahama never said his people are involved.
Please allow him to conclude.
That's not what President Mahama said. Don't put words on it.
So you are not coming to rationalize what he said. We all heard him.
So to end, see, the judgment given, in my opinion, was justice that has been granted to the people of Ghana. Because when you talk about justice, in every criminal trial, you understand, it's the republic versus somebody. The person seeking justice are the people, the republic. And I'm saying that this conviction represents justice granted to the people of this country. This conviction represents a clear statement made about our collective abhorrence to Galamsey, what Galamsey can do to us. Yes, certainly we are calling for accountability, but we want accountability within the confines of the rule of law.
Why are you
and
so
because I'm not charged. I'm saying we want accountability, but I want accountability within the confines of the rule of law. And because of that enduring principle that we took up people as surely, Chamawu to me has a right to appeal, and we should trust the judges that they are going to give us justice. And so when he goes and judges said that, in our opinion, we think that the 20 years was too small. So we are going to increase it to 23 years. Nobody should come and tell us that it is a political witch hunting, because that is justice. Also.
You know something interesting that happened in the High Court. A guy was convicted for causing harm. No, please don't worry. I will. He was convicted for causing harm. He served a sentence 5 years and went on appeal.
Yeah.
So when he appeared before the 3 judges of the Court of Appeal, they say, but have you not finished your sentence? What are you doing? He said, I want to clear my name. Then the judges of the Court of Appeal said, well, we have reviewed the record. We are enhancing the judgment from 5 years to 8 years. This guy who had finished his sentence had to go back. Look, the guy fainted. We have to pour water on him that day.
Japamesa wants me to ask you. He wants to know from you whether Wontumi's conviction was for illegal mining.
Punchline.
Because he was never.
No, but that's illegal mining.
Even though the judgment
every breach of the law. This question, I'm not sure my senior looked at it well. He didn't look at it. No, it's okay. Let me answer him.
Let me answer him.
No, please.
It's not for
He didn't look at it well.
But you ask the question, it's not.
He didn't look at the question well.
He did. Thank you.
Mischief.
Good morning. Please, the section of the budget, after the media review, the issues about contractors, how they will be paid, etc., under the big push. And we know that there's even been more promises to have feasibility done on the Kumasi Expressway. Already we're told that we have $1.5 billion in the kitty, $3 billion to be recorded by close of the year being the target. The concern is, you listen to the contractors, some of them say, well, they are being paid based on raised certificates, but others also say that it looks like the payments are not coming.
I'm sort of standing up and giving the current managers...
You have 3 minutes.
Yes.
As you are paying
I'm short of standing up and giving a standing ovation to the current managers of the economy. The discipline is amazing. Look, in managing public finance, one of the things that you need is discipline. Because if you are not careful, the economy will overrun and there will be a problem. There will be hits in the economy. Look, for 6 solid years, in fact, within the space of 6 years, the MPP administration took $11 billion of Eurobond and loan. There's no Swami interchange constructed. There is no hospital constructed and completed.
It is not true.
Don't even go there. Let him finish. Don't even go there. Let him finish. Oh, what was this?
Surprised.
$11 billion of Eurobond consumption. Madumaku, that is the philosophy that we saw for 8 solid years. Now you have a group of people who have come. And you have a finance minister and a president who says that the distance between Accra and Kumasi is so terrible. Sometimes you do 4 hours. He is a well-traveled man. He sees major expressways connecting major cities. So President said, look, Kumasi and Accra will do it. We'll set up an SPV, the Accra-Kumasi Expressway Limited. With that SPV, it will have its own board to coordinate its activity with a CEO. So far, we have $1.6 billion put aside, not borrowed funds, not Eurobond. I mean, such an amazing gift. Today, as we speak, for the first time, we are going to see a 3.5 kilometer road, bridge, side by side with Aboboya, pathway and others on the Afram. For the first time, we are going to see a 1 kilometer bridge over the OT. That excites me.
Yeah.
This is what we call transformational leadership. We never saw that. Now, our friends say, okay, why are we public? There's no money in the system. I have the expenditure done by this finance minister, and I'll just conclude on that. Pensions alone, get salaries already, we've done over 48 billion Ghana cedis on compensation. Interest payment on our debt, we have done 21 billion on our debt. Eurobond service and interest, $700 million. Payment to domestic bondholders, 10 billion Ghana cedis. District Assembly Common Fund, 4.4 billion Ghana cedis.
Why is this relevant?
These are monies in the economy.
Okay.
The 4.4 billion paid to the District Assembly Common Fund, the money comes back to the economy. When you pay Get Fund, 4.2 billion releases, it comes back into the economy. Free secondary education. Now, there was a group called...
Your time is up.
You invest... Oh, please, I beg you. 30 seconds.
Your time is up.
There's a group called University Lecturers to Protect Free SHS. When was the last time you heard them talk again? In the 2024 election.
University
Lecturers in protection of free SHS. The reason why they are not talking, the reason why they are not talking again is that President Mahama has protected free SHS. Today, the kids are taking eggs, better food.
Who told us
that is the kind of thing President Mahama has done.
Your time is up. Your time is up.
Now,
Thank you.
I conclude on this. Road funds alone. Look at the money. Even cocoa farmers.
Your time is up.
Okay, so you know what? All that he's talking about.
3 minutes.
The litmus
money
test,
in the system.
The litmus test of it is when you drive from Accra to Kumasi today. He was talking about 4 hours. Today, driving from Accra to Kumasi will take you no less than 9 hours. If you be honest with yourselves.
With 11 billion euro
please. Driving from Accra to Kumasi sometimes will take you about 12 hours and more. And that is what he wants us to believe, that everything is perfect, and for which reason we should clap for the finance minister. The finance minister was in parliament to say that, do not judge me on how much money I give to the people. If you do not release money, there's an effect. I have some, at least, knowledge of contractors and how they behave. Usually contractors, when a contract is awarded to them, and they are not, when they raise certificates and they are not getting paid, you usually find a situation where they've dug almost everywhere. It's almost not more trouble for you to use the road just to force government to release money, and they will go back to
the
site.
Contractors.
Oh, the contractors, that's how they behave. Today, in Accra, the capital of the Republic of Ghana, if you decide to travel out of Accra, it's a nightmare. There is not a single exit route out of Accra where you can safely drive on in a very comfort mood. Take the Accra-Takoradi Road.
What's your point? That the problem was
allow. You get the point. If you drive from Accra to Kumasi, that's another situation. Terrible. Go, allow me, please. You have abandoned the construction that was ongoing Accra Kumasi Road and say that for you, what is important to you is to do express road. So monies that have everywhere. I've used that road everywhere.
Which portion?
The construction that was ongoing. Please,
hold on. The Pokwasi portion is it not part of the Kumasi?
Allow me to make
$74 million. He has 1.5 minutes to learn.
Please, you did the monologue. Allow me. Thank you. Go to the Afienya Road. The chaos on that road today. And you say that you've given them money. Under construction, they are not giving the contractors money. And that is why you have that chaos ongoing on our roads. That's not correct. The chaos you find on our roads. You sit here and say that, and you see, the very reason why he's not releasing money is because he's unable to raise the money. There's a shortfall, according to his own budget. The media review
we should go for Eurobond.
Please. He said he was going to raise a certain amount of money. There's a shortfall about 9.6 billion. And that 9.6 billion is the reason why they are unable to release money to the contractors. If you are not giving the contractors money, how do you expect the contractors to go back?
Which of the contractors has complained?
Are you the host now?
Oh, please.
You did the monologue.
Can I not ask you a minute?
Okay.
You know what? The NDC government believes in the rhetorics. Oh, yes, we are doing this, we are doing that. But what we are experiencing, all of us, are living testimonies of the experience. It is good to construct roads, but in a situation where government has spent money to construct the Accra Kumasi.
When you are going to your constituency, Takwa, is the road not better than you left it?
Wait a minute.
Is the road not better?
Under the MPP,
your own constituency, Takwa.
No, please. I'm not going to take this. I am not going to take this. You allowed him to do a monologue. My point, the little minute you gave me, you will not allow me.
I gave each of you two.
We are going to contact Junction. It's better than you left it.
Gentlemen, please allow
government have given funds for government.
Please, I use that road.
To do that. Please.
It's the reason why I never interjected to ask
so the MPP has committed, but then Doji told a lie. But the MPP gave the contract. Under the MPP, there was no single road. What hospital that was completed in my constituency? You made reference to the Israel Hospital was started and completed by the MPP. Go to Bogo, same was done. So if you sit here and say that there was nothing like that under the MPP, that's a lie. The Atakwa Apimenim Road, the NDC during the NDC administration, it was referred to as dodge one get three free. You dodge one pothole get three. It took the MPP to construct that road. The Atakwa Apimenim Road was awarded under the MPP. What have you done?
We have done it.
No, it's not true. The just more contract was awarded by the MPP.
I'm surprised my brother will go on that.
Please, nobody should interject in 2 minutes.
Yeah, because I recall year of rules. How much money did they say?
Since 2018.
From here to Nebraska.
I think we were like 2 or 3 years of rules, about 40 billion, and you understand. And in spite of that, because really, if they did it, then we should have found an issue where all the that's an example. All the exit roads from Accra will have the kind of problem we are having. In fact, just before the election, they told us that they have gone to take, they've gone to procure some money from I think and yet, if I use the Accra to Insaum road a lot, you understand? And in fact, there must be a forensic audit and proper accountability.
$750 million.
But you see, so I beg you, so don't go there. After road, don't go there. Now, see, the point that I think is critical to me is we are talking about transformation, and to have proper transformation, you need a comprehensive plan, and that comprehensive plan includes investing critically in infrastructure, in roads and all. So, this government has managed to more or less stabilize the economy. The macros are okay. You understand? Fantastic. But beyond that, we should find a way of investing in, obviously, SMEs and industry and all that.
That's why the Women Development Bank is coming.
I see a plan. Except that as in, it can be done in one day. That's a plan. The 24-hour economy.
Nothing has been done about it. But he was very silent about it during the whole presentation. The finance minister did not talk about 24-hour economy. That is supposed to give jobs.
You've been a host.
Two.
You're making the work.
He's intimidating us.
Look at him. For me, we should take a cue because you see, the US faced a similar situation like we're facing in the 50s. I understand. And so, what did he do? He created he replicated the autobahns in Germany in the US. He invested in small and medium-scale enterprises through the Small Business Act, and he created a system where the American economy boomed. So, for me, I'll just say that yes, the plan is there. They should just remain committed to their plan and cause the transformation of this country. They should not be distracted by bad
goes by the first name
Annex.
Andrew Appiah of the United Party, legal practitioner. Lawyer.
So if
Andrew Japamesa sends a message, direct bullet to Lawyer Eduji. Please tell Eduji to respect his audience, the Ghanaian people. So how can he allege that $11 billion loan was contracted for consumption?
Yes. What did they have
every
to
single
show
loan
for?
contracted by the government is approved by Parliament.
Secondly,
and so,
the beautiful
Michael Wedia Sumenin, good morning, says that I'm watching you, quite an interesting debate you have this morning. And then Prince Nania York, Prince Nania York, I've seen your message as well, please make sure. And then Fred Ampo, good morning to you, says, please kindly ask the MPP gentleman which contractor spoke to him. Please tell him that Ghanaians are very wise. We can distinguish between water and alcohol. Their thirst for power makes them spew lies in the name of debate. Prince Daniel York says, for me, the economy is good on the outlook, but the agriculture sector and industrialization must be done to expand the economy, create jobs, and increase revenue through various taxes. And then I see Fokafui from Ho says that please let the MPP understand that before Ghana gets back to its normal self, it will take years because of their bad governance. Fokafui also sending this. Seth, I see yours as well. Nyo Degatukwe says, we voted for oral and we need money to pay our debts. Dr. Atoforsen, aka we have paid, is doing well. AKA, okay. And then Master Planner Junior, Kintampo North Communication Officer for the MPP, says, please tell Lawyer Duji that with the 11 billion euro bond, if there is no Swame interchange, there is Flower Pot interchange. Pokwase interchange, Tamale interchange, East Legon underpass. Over 41 hospitals started and completed by President Nana Addo. 41 hospitals and completed. All right.
But you know what?
Again, big issue is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. Remember, alongside this, we have Cash Out. Goes to a Shoko Star 439 house. Now, with the University of Gold Coast, they make sure that they design courses that enable you to be taken care of. So if you're a worker, their timetable is structured in such a way that you can work and also school. And then also they have various courses all in tune with the modern time. Please make sure you call them now with their ongoing admissions on the number 026-388-555. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Gentlemen, thank you. Let's do the first draw of Cash Out. We'll talk about it. And so please make sure that you dial star 439 hash, choose option 2, and we have the first draw 321. The number winning is 0556489. So that's the winner. A lucky 1,000 Ghana cedis going for you this morning. Please make sure that you continue watching us. Don't go off. We'll be right back with the latest sports headlines.
I'm hurt, he says. It's time for sports.
But it's a nice song.
Yeah,
it's a nice song.
The Muchala Yakubu.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm great. How was your weekend?
Not bad. Not bad. I was, reading comments about what happened in Parliament, especially with regards to how much was given to the Black Stars or was used as funding for the Black Stars.
And whether or not what we did deserved that amount of money.
Well, that is another conversation, but I think we made profit, so we should be happy. We spent close to $5 million and we got $13.5 million. So
nice.
Even if, as Ato Forsen says that he will go for his money, which is understandable, we'll still have a profit of about 8.5 million.
That's
and
good.
The minister has already stated and explained what that money will be used for. He says every single penny would be in the sports fund, and that is a massive step for us.
We should refurbish our stadia.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
do it.
Since the seats, all of that.
We've won the right to host the Under-20 World Cup, the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. We'll be
That's the WAFU, right?
No, the WAFU is a separate tournament, but we'll be hosting the Under-20 AFCON. So I would have time to refurbish the stadium, and I'm sure that the money in the sports fund will go a long way.
I'll go watch live matches there.
Of course,
Tell us more about the WAFU Under-20.
Yeah, it's currently ongoing in Ivory Coast. Ghana testing its mettle against some of the best. Maxwell Kunedu is the head coach of the Under-20 team. Maxwell Kunedu was here throughout the World Cup doing panditry job for TV3. So we enjoyed everything that he did for us during the World Cup period. Now he has an assignment with the Under-20 team who are currently in Ivory Coast. Today they will be starting their journey and they will be playing no other opponent than Nigeria, which we are very familiar with. And Maxwell says that he is confident the boys will turn up.
Very, very crucial. Either to attack or to defend, both ways. I think the teams that are able to, look at this area and exploit them to the advantage will definitely be carrying the day. And we have prepared the boys enough for this. So let's see what happens when the game starts. Matches of this nature, it doesn't matter the level of who is doing what. It's always very, very competitive. And I think the Nigerians will throw every arsenal at us, but we have to respond positively to at least carry the day. That is our mission. We are not coming to fight for a draw or thinking about losing. We are coming here and we want to come play and win and go ahead to prepare for the main tournament. That is our mission.
I like the way he keeps saying that is our mission. I hope that mission will be accomplished.
Of course, and we are all hoping that the boys would come to the party because Nigeria are no mean opponent, and we know them. We know them up close. We've played against them.
Our best rival.
Well, our Jollof rivals, if you can say that. At every level of football, we've tested ourselves against Nigeria. So this will not be new, but it would only be a good one for the satellites because the Under-20 AFCON will be such a big tournament for Ghana. It's been a while we won it. The last time we won the Under-20 AFCON was somewhere around 2019. 2020. We couldn't go for the World Cup because COVID-19 set in and the football calendar had to change. This time we are back and we are hoping with Maxwell Kunedu and all the experiences gathered with the Black Stars at club level and all that will come to bear so that these Under-20 boys will live up to expectations.
We need to make progress on that front. And a lot of games really coming up. There's also the 2026 WAFCON, right?
Yeah, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It has started. It started on Saturday in Morocco. And this one is a very, very important one because it is qualification to the Women's World Cup in Brazil in 2027. So the first 4 teams in this tournament qualify automatically. Remember last year, Black Queens were in action in the same tournament. They finished 3rd. So if it was a qualification series, Ghana would have qualified for the World Cup, but we couldn't qualify. We've not been at the Women's World Cup for a long time, since 2007. And I mean, it doesn't look good on us. So we are hoping we'll qualify. On Saturday, we saw Algeria open their campaign up against Senegal. They won that game by 2-0. Then the host nation, Morocco, who have also now become a powerhouse as far as women's football is concerned. They wallop Kenya by 4-0. I mean, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yes.
If we're talking about women's football, Morocco was nowhere to be found. But I mean, they've put in structures, managed to get themselves a better women's league in Morocco, which is very functional and working. And they are getting players from all over, I mean, Europe, especially in France, where you have a lot of French-born Moroccans there. I mean, they are all coming to play for Morocco. And currently, I can tell you, they are one of the best women's teams on the African continent.
It boils down to one thing, structures. When you have the right structures in place, and that's even the conversation we have all the time when we talk about the Black Stars. Let's have the right structures, and we'll see the players perform. And the Commonwealth Games, we've been talking about it since.
Before the Commonwealth Games, Ghana would be playing, but we would be playing on Wednesday.
Okay.
Against Cape Verde. Or Cape Verde, if you can.
Yes, depends on where you're from.
Where you're from. Cape Verde or Cape Verde on Wednesday. That will be our opener. If we are able to get 3 points in that game, good for us. We would have Mali and Cameroon to contend with later in the tournament. But it's important that we qualify out of our group, then see what happens to us. If we're able to finish third like we did in the last tournament, then we are sure of going to Brazil, which would be a big one for women's football in Ghana. But the Commonwealth Games, as you said, it's ongoing in Glasgow. I mean, the Black Bombers are the ones representing Ghana in boxing. So far, we've chalked some successes, and the president of the Ghana Boxing Federation, Dauda Mohammed, has even been speaking. This is Amadou Mohammed, who was in action, giving Ghana their first win at the ongoing Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland.
Is it my eyes? It looks like the place was almost empty.
I mean, it's the Commonwealth Games, so it's not as huge as the Olympic Games. And you have several sports ongoing concurrently, so you have people spread all over. So he actually dominated the first round victory over Ariel Temaku of Kibrati in the men's 55 kg bantamweight championship, and he says that he's looking for more. But the president of the federation says that he believes that the Black Bombers would actually get Ghana some medals before we finish the tournament.
Trying, they're not doing bad at all. But just that, like I said earlier on, our strength doesn't lie with the female team, like the females. Our strength lies with the male team. So we are trying the female, and they are not doing bad. You can see they're also trying their best. I think they need a little sharpening and some few things. So I believe we'll go back home to work on those things. But the male dear, we assure you medals, so it will be fine. So that is why even after the bout, I stay behind to watch the next opponent. Because there are so many things we need to learn from them. Every opponent has his own style of fighting. So you need to learn from him. Then you advise your boxer as to how he should go about it. So I think they are morally strong. They have the zeal in them to do it, and I believe.
All right, they are morally strong. So, well, let's see what they're able to get. What else do you need to know before
what
you
you need to know is that the 58 million people are asking what really went into that. A lot went into that per diem for players for 1 month. The per diem each day is $150. So times 27 players, they are officials as well. Then you have the appearance fee of $100,000 for 26 players, and also the officials, they got a total of around 460. So they got about $62,000 each, not getting 100,000. Then you have internal transportation and other things that you need to take care of. So and you come for a month, you play the friendly game as well. So a lot went into that.
I guess you give us a lot more breakdown at 10, right?
At 10 when I come with the Sports
Daily. All right, thank you very much, Demutala Yakubu. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us.
Live on Facebook and YouTube at TV3 Ghana. But let's talk law. Yeah, we're going to delve into some serious legal matters, but in actual fact, no, we're not. We're going to be talking about, an extracurricular activity that's supposed to sort of bring down the tension when we have to talk about legal issues, etc. And this is going to be among firms. I'm not going to give you all the details because I don't have much to say, but I have the right people here who give us all the details. So I have the managing partner for AB&O Legal, Sally Hayfron Benjamin, here with us. Hello, Sally.
Hi, Bella.
And we have Emefa Ose. She's an associate at HB&O Legal as well. Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
Sally, I'll start off with you. There's a fundraising event that's coming up and a quiz competition, more like. Tell me a bit about what exactly is happening.
Yes. So this is a carefully curated, fun fundraising quiz competition that HB&O Legal has put together. And it is meant to raise funds for charity, as I said.
Okay.
And it's among law firms. The idea is that law firms generally raise funds or do their own individual charities. But if we come together, we can create bigger impact.
Okay.
And so that's why we're doing it this way. And the idea is also that the winning law firm gets to choose a charity to donate the funds to. And just to ensure that monies are used judiciously and transparently, we do have rules on which charities that you can go for. So the charity has to be, for example, registered. It can't be a one-man show. And they must also have a good track record.
Oh, I see.
Yes, because we have to account to our sponsors.
Oh. That's where I fall short, because I was hoping I was going to benefit from this. But let me bring MFI in, because this would be the first edition?
It is, yes.
Okay.
So naturally, we're hoping we keep going and going and going. But this is the first edition. I'm not sure if you know this, but lawyers are very competitive. So we figured we'd capitalize on that. And our senior partner had the idea to make it a quiz. So we can just all get together and all the participating law firms, because it's not just us, we are hosting, but we've got about 8 other law firms who are competing fiercely to be able to win. And then, as Sally mentioned, the money will go to charity.
I see.
Yes. And just to add, there are some law firms that are not competing, but they are participating by way of sponsorship. So even though they're not participating, they have sponsored the event.
So not all lawyers are competitive then. Maybe some of them like to just sit behind and watch the others compete, right? But what I know about lawyers, like every time you think of getting a lawyer, you're thinking of all the money they're going to charge for handling your case, etc., So for us to now find out that lawyers are also now doing something to give back to society, that's a little different. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes. So you're right. We're known to be competitive and all that. We're only seen when there's courtroom work or there's a transaction on the table. But what people do not see is all the charity work we do behind the scenes. Excuse me. Yeah, all the charity work we do behind the scenes. And so we think that this is a good way to come together to show that lawyers can mentor, lawyers do charity work, lawyers actually make an impact within the community beyond going to court and dealing in big transactions.
But it must have been a lot of work, Emma, for putting this together.
It was. We've been working on it for a while. The idea actually came up over a year ago, and we've now actually put the organization together to make it happen. So we figured there's lots of law firms that each do their own charity work. So there's various initiatives. But we thought if we all come together, we could have a greater impact.
Exactly.
And that's why we thought this would be a good idea. But in organizing it, we've been very pleased by the response. We've had a lot of positive feedback. It's our first one, but the firms and the sponsors have trusted us to carry this off. And I think a lot of the law firms couldn't say no to flexing their intellectual muscles.
I know, right?
With the quiz. So
wait, how tough are these questions going to be, first of all?
Well, so it's really not going to be hardcore law. It's more of a fun night with the sole aim of raising funds for charity. So questions are going to cover entertainment, sports, current affairs, legal trivia. So it's not...
So I'm not going to have to quote government versus Sachi and Sachi 1925. No, not that kind.
No, it's not
Okay.
that kind. It's not the kind of quiz to choose the best law firm in Ghana. No,
Oh,
it's not.
okay.
It's not.
Okay. So can the rest of us participate? Or it's only for the law firms?
You come over.
So if you are not a lawyer, you are not allowed?
No,
That's
so
unfair to some of us, you know.
We have invited some guests to join us and just enjoy the evening with us. So
Okay.
you're more than welcome
Absolutely.
to come. Yeah.
I'll definitely be there, but this won't be the first and this won't be the last either.
This will not be the first. In fact, we intend to create a legacy out of this.
Okay.
We'd like to build on it year on year, make it that event that everybody wants to be at the end of the year. That will also create great impact.
I'm looking forward to that. But beyond, let's talk a bit about HBNO and what you do, because yes, we've been talking about the quiz, which is happening when, by the way?
The quiz is on Wednesday, the 29th, and it's by invitation only this time. Hopefully next time we can open it up to more people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess you cannot put the details out as to where it's happening and what time, because you only have to get the invitation
to be
a
able to
part of
attend.
it.
That's
But let's
right.
talk a bit about HBO and legal. What's your focus as a legal firm?
As a legal firm, mostly corporate and commercial,
Okay.
as well as dispute resolution. But we do have a big pro bono aspect to what we do.
Okay.
And doing charity is also part of our culture.
Okay.
So that is why we've come up with this.
So how do you approach, giving back to society? How do you sort of manage that aspect of HBNO legal?
So it comes in various forms, and I'll
Okay.
give you an example. We run legal clinics. Last year, we did one for the New Horizon School, which is a school for disabled children. And so we took parents through the legal aspects of ensuring that they're putting proper structures in place, such that when they're no longer around, their children who are disabled, who cannot fend for themselves or look after themselves, will be properly looked after. So we do legal clinics like that, yes.
Well, that's interesting to know. Well, before we wrap up, Emefa, do you have any final words?
I think I'll let Sally give the closing remarks.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, we just want to say a very big thank you to all our participating law firms and sponsors. If we had time, I would have gone through the full list. I know we don't, but we want to tell them that we're grateful. It's the first one, and without hesitation, they all said yes. They've come on board. They're very excited. It's on LinkedIn. We're publicizing it as much as possible.
Okay.
And again, it is to create impact. As they say, if you run alone, you run fast. But if you run together, you run far. So we're hoping that together we can run far and create that long-lasting impact.
Well, all the best to all the competing firms, and hopefully, is HBNO also participating?
Unfortunately, we don't
I was
get to
going to say it would be
compete.
so unfair to have you participate. So you would handle the organization and
That's
everything in
correct.
between,
That's
and the other
correct.
legal firms will take part in the quiz. So all the best to all of you. Hopefully, the one I'll join some years to come will be the one to win. That will give me the sign as to which one to, join. So you better win. Otherwise, I'll be upset. But all the best.
Thank
to
you.
all,
Thank you
and
so much for having us.
speaking to us on TV3. I've been speaking to Sally Hayfron Benjamin. She is a managing partner for HBNO Legal. And we also have the associate for HBNO Legal here, Emefa Osei. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll be talking about Kumasi and how they are to experience 4 months intermittent power outages in the coming weeks. We'll get into that conversation. But quickly, attention to all parents of first-year SHS boarding students. I'm introducing you to EduPack. It's the Ghana Education Service approved and supported national SHS initiative implemented by Prospectus Ghana, and it is now in progress across Ghana. So parents across the country are already registering, so their children's trunk, Macintosh mattress, pillow, and plastic chop box will be ready and waiting at their schools before reporting day. Do not delay and be caught in the usual last-minute market rush. A lot of us do that. You end up carrying heavy items under pressure, trying to get your kid into school. No. With EduPack, your child does not need to travel to school with all these essential items. You just register by simply dialing *713 *821#. Visit any ADB branch or go to www.edupackgh.com. Make payments, keep your receipt, and present it on opening day to collect your child's EduPack items. So your EduPack registration follows you to any SHS that you are placed. Avoid the stress, avoid the rush. Prepare with confidence. At all It's all very affordable as well. So EduPack approved and supported by the GES. For more information, call 0500 600 607, 0500 600 607, or 030 2955050. EduPack, no stress, no wahala. We'll be right back, and we'll be heading into the Ashanti region to speak about those power outages that residents in Ashanti region would be experiencing. Don't go anywhere. they're to expect a 4-month intermittent power shortage, and we want to get some more details as to exactly what's happening. Ibrahim is our man on the ground. Let's quickly go to him before we speak to our resource persons as well to find out more details. But Ibrahim, give us some background on this matter.
Well, so the Ghana Grid Company is trying to upgrade some of its power system lines, and they are upgrading the capacity from around 400 megawatts to nearly 1,000 megawatts in the Ashanti region. And this is because of the high demand of electricity in the region and even beyond. So the upgrade has started, and we are told that within this period, in the next 3 to 4 months, there will be intermittent power outages in parts of Kumasi to allow GRIDCO to replace the transmission lines that has been in existence for the past 3 decades. And for that matter, this announcement has come. But then, obviously, it has triggered some concerns among residents and businesses already grappling with intermittent outages. Even before the timetable is out, already people are complaining about intermittent outages in their areas. And for that matter, for businesses, for traders that depend heavily on electricity, and the prospect of these 3 months of unstable power raises fear of increased operating costs and also disruption of productivity and even possible damage of electrical equipment. So they want clear timelines, and they are saying that if this intervention must be done, then they welcome it. But we have to make sure that going forward, we have sustainable power. We shouldn't do this, then in the next 4 or 5 months, we still be going back to this unstable power in the region. So they are looking for the timetable, looking out for the timetable. You know, PUIC say they've engaged PCG and GRIDCO to make sure they come out with timetable so that people will be able to plan out their lives more. So that is the issue. But you speak to people, obviously, no one is happy that his or her life will be going on and off. But for others, they believe that if this will bring stable power, then so be it.
All right. Let me hold on, Ibrahim. I'll bring in the PRO for ECG Ashanti West Region, Benjamin Obeng-Entry. He joins us via phone. And sir, are you there? Mr. Obeng-Entry, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, good, thank you. I hope you're doing well too.
Yes, please. I'm doing well.
So very quickly, I don't know if you heard the conversation that we had with our correspondent in the Ashanti region. He says that even though this announcement has been made, there have been some intermittent power supplies in the Ashanti region and in Kumasi, to be precise. So now they want to know, first of all, has this, announcement you've made, has it taken effect already? Is it yet to take effect? And if it is, when are they getting the timetable to that effect?
Okay, thank you very much, and a very good morning to your cherished viewers as well as colleague resource persons as well. I think when Ibrahim was speaking, he mentioned that fact that there's been some outages even before this announcement. What I would like to put on record, even from our data, which we normally share with PRC, for the last 2 months, a chunk of our outages in Ashanti has been as a result of planned maintenance work. So what we are doing in Ashanti region, beginning of the year, we had challenges in terms of power supply to our territory due to constraints within our distribution sub-transmission network as well. So thankfully, the sector minister visited Kumasi and then announced a series of projects. So the project is not just for GRIDCO, but ECG, we had our distribution bit, we had our sub-transmission bit, and then GRIDCO is also doing their transmission bit. So currently, what we are doing now in Ashanti region, the sub-transmission line from the race substations through Adwato to Barakesi to Offenso is undergoing some intensive system improvement works whereby we are upgrading the conductor size from 265 mm square to 400 mm square. This project is very beneficial because Ghana Water, the main water headworks in Ashanti region, is located at Barakesi, where large number of Greater Kumasi depends on water, and also Ghana Water depends on power to supply their water as well. So this project is very critical. Residents around Offenso and Groom, they they are going to benefit from this project. And where we are getting to in terms of this project, the contractor is, stringing the conductor on some of the pylons, which will require outages. So that is why we've engaged stakeholders, and every Tuesday we do that work. So we'll come up with announcements as well. So we'll do it tomorrow. They happen. We come up with an announcement today. That is one of them. Prior to this project, we also have the project from Boedi to Kasi substations, where we are upgrading the interconnectors as well, which was being done by a third-party contractor, Avensis. So the minister again announced it when he was engaging the media during the Akosombo crisis as well. The minister announced that Avensis was doing some work in Kumasi. So that work is currently ongoing. As we speak, they've done a large chunk of it, whereby we had challenges with a cable around Infant Jesus, Ayeduasi area there, which was normally affecting residents around Ayeduasi, Kupe, Sevilla, Espresso, Adeja, Einstein High School, Atunsu, with that enclave. As we speak to residents in that enclave, since we completed the Infant Jesus work, power supply has really improved. When you take that bit away also, we are also doing our transformer upgrade, so that's the distribution transformer upgrade. As we speak, the Edum Central Business District, where a chunk of the business in Kumasi takes place at, we are upgrading 2 transformers over there. We are bringing 2 new transformers, 500 kV capacity. Currently, the first one is almost done. We are laying the cables around Edum, where you know the Repa FM area there. That project is ongoing. Once we finish, we'll start with the second one. So as a result of these projects, residents have seen some outages, which we always inform residents, because the broadcast transmission line is very critical, in the sense that the number of people that it serves in Kumasi is a lot. So we've engaged people and that is happening. So that is why some outages had occurred before this announcement. But this announcement is also a welcomed decision, because in as much as we are developing the distribution, the sub-transmission side, we need a distribution as well, because gradually Ashanti is becoming a generation hub in the Middle Belt. As we speak, we have the American plant over there, we have the AXA, we have the Senate as well. We also have Genesa, the gas supply company as well. When you go to Aomaso, you have all of these entities connecting to the grid via the grid line as well.
Okay.
So definitely the 2 box supply points in Kumasi, that's Aomaso and then Kumasi.
All right.
There should be some upgrade, because if that upgrade is not done, people cannot evacuate more power. That is the reason for the project that Bitco is doing from Aomaso.
So you've given an extensive explanation as to the works that are being done. But prior to this statement coming out, residents are saying that the lights were going off. You weren't giving them any update. You weren't giving them a timetable. So that's why I'm asking that, when does this timetable come out, so at least they can plan their lives accordingly? Because clearly, there's still a lot of work to be done. And we've been told that it's going to be in the next, it will span at least 4 months.
If you listen to my earlier submission, I mentioned that, yes, some residents were experiencing some outages, and I explained why they were experiencing. I even said that the previous LI, we are supposed to inform our customers 72 hours before any planned work. Where there's an emergency, that is 24 hours. And I mentioned the fact that we were coming up with this announcement. So even though tomorrow the customers around the barricades record there, that stretch will be going up because of this system improvement works. The announcement came out as far as Saturday. Today we've done a reminder as well. So we're coming up with that information. But with this particular exercise, yes, before I started the work, and then the work even started Monday as the sector minister indicated. But it's not every day that they will require an outage. That is why they started the work last year. Mind you, this construction started last year. But they got to a point where they will need some outage requirements and adjustment. That is why the minister came to Kumasi to announce where they will be transferring conductor from the old pylon to a new pylon. However, the work we were doing last week did not require much outage. That is why you've not seen any timetable yet. We are still in touch with them. Because maybe sometimes they can say that, we are taking up this line, we need about 20 megawatts. With the 20 megawatts, we can look into the system and see that, the system is stable, which we can handle without any sort of outage. For that one, we didn't need to come up with a timetable. But as and when, so we didn't tell Greco that where we need much more power, they need to inform us, so that we can also inform our customers and adhere to the 22 hours strict time by the PRC regulation, LI 2413 as well. So we need that. So we are in constant communication with Greco. So as we speak, we've not got any indication that there will be any outage today. The outages we are seeing around it as a result of our own system improvement project, which I said will come out. Aside the transformer upgrades we are doing, we have what we call the operation keep the lines, so where we identify some high tensile lines that had a lot of defects, which we are correcting as well, from rotting pool replacement to retensioning of our conductors.
So very quickly, tomorrow some areas should expect power outages, you said, right? Because there's still some
Yes,
works going on. Which
yes,
areas in particular?
So, yes, okay. So, one, first of all, you're looking at Apri, Barakese, Offenso, Cordier, Mori, Dinase, Ainsign. You're also looking at Barakese of the township itself. You're looking at the Sofia, Inketia, Edujama, Adankwame. You're also looking at Hemai, Ampetia. You're looking at Owabe complex. So the line going to the complex entry, that is where you have the Central Military Command over there. It also has an issue that we need to improve the work from region of vegetation control, i.e. cutting of trees interfering with our network. One, replacing of floating poles as well, and then upgrading some conductor sites as well. So we are doing all those work, and then also we are commissioning some transformers as well within that enclave.
What time during the day should they expect their lights to go off, and for how many hours?
Okay, so from the announcement that we came out, it's from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock p.m. as well.
Okay, all
right. That's what. But there are some areas that are going from 9 to 3 because the duration of the work is very limited as well. Like I said, the Barricades work is a major work. It's a major infrastructure that connects about, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 substations, primary substations that we need to get it done as soon as possible. That is why we are doing, because our target is to ensure that we complete this project as soon as possible to bring relief to residents of Greater Kumasi and other areas as well.
Mr. Obientri, so you talk about the daily hours. How many, for instance, in a week? Is it going to be every day?
Please come again. I didn't hear that
How
question.
many times will people have their lights out in a week, for instance?
Yeah, okay, so because we want to minimize the impact of this outage, we chose just 2 days within a week. And it's not the same area going off twice in a week, no. That is not what we are doing. Because, like I said, we have a lot of system improvement projects ongoing, so we need to plan and then prioritize the work. So we might get Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Where there's an emergency, we add a Thursday to, but it will not be the same place. So, for instance, those going up tomorrow, if anything at all, it's going to be the following week, not Wednesday. However, Wednesday, we have other areas around the Passe, and then other enclaves also going through this to keep the lights on exercise, whereby we are doing some major corrections in our network as well. So it is not every day change. So if maybe most of them are like once in a week, though we have 2 days, the second day will be different areas. Well, like I said, the network spans across larger areas in the Ashanti region.
All right. We'll have to end it here. Benjamin Obientri, he speaks for the Electricity Company of Ghana in the Ashanti region. Also, we had with us our colleague Ibrahim Abubakar bringing us the view of residents as regards what's going to happen in that region. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us and sharing those views with us. If it's your birthday today, like we always do it here, we want to help you celebrate it big. Okay, Auntie Annie Agbamava, wishing you a beautiful day with good health and happiness forever. Much love from the entire family. Happy birthday to you, Auntie. Elizabeth Astravo of Bema Camp, God richly bless you. Happy birthday to you. Safo Patrick, God bless you so much. From your wife, Monica Kujo. Happy birthday to you, sir. Agent Ben, happy birthday. May you be great. And from TOM, happy birthday to you, Agent Ben. Victor Kofi Mensah of Ho, I wish you good health, peace, and peace again from Nana Hubert Straha. Happy birthday to you, Victor. Also to you, Joetta Kula Yaga. Happy birthday to you. We cherish you. Atta darling, happy 50th birthday. Cheers to many and healthy happy years. Your love, Ohinewa, happy birthday to you. Unique, may Allah bless your new age from ambition. Happy birthday to you. Miss Mary Andoishan, happy birthday to you. Wishing you a day filled with joy, love, and beautiful memories. May God bless you with good health. Mr. Eric Abuaji Mensah, happy birthday to you. Najat Suleiman, happy birthday to you, ma'am. Josephine Emisa, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Mr. and Mrs. Tete, happy birthday to you. Edric, actually, happy birthday to you. Dr. Salifu Combat. From Roland Walker, yes, Director NHIA, Upper East Region. God bless you, Dr. Sally Fukomba.
Finally, we can put a face to the name,
yes,
right?
Yes, finally, yes.
A very special doc.
Yes. Wishing you a day filled with love, laughter, and countless blessings. No name, but happy birthday. Beautiful dress. Honorable Hajia Zurera Mohammed Ibrahim, MP for Salaga South. Happy birthday to you, Honorable.
Our famous bye-bye, Honorable.
Yes.
Bye-bye, have a nice day.
Jessica Efa, happy birthday. Have an amazing day. There's one from, Alexander of Kolebu Teaching Hospital, PR. May all your secret prayers be answered. Bonti Benjamin says, happy birthday to my son, Joseph Ohini Ejapon Bonti. Okay, there's also Ellen Danso. Happy birthday to you, Ellen. Oh, Mansura, happy birthday of Kolebu Teaching Hospital, PR.
And then it's
so
going to
2
be a big
PR.
party, yes.
Okay. Dickness Susan Yaya Kofi from your family and loved ones. Happy birthday to you, Dickness.
Okay, we have closed. It's time to go home. I'm going home to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not done yet. I have to
trust me, I'm not done either.
Yes, but that's it for New Day. I thank you so much for joining us today. Do join us again tomorrow. Yes, have a lovely day. Okay.